chances that I don't get kicked off Twitter and YouTube just for talking to you?
Oh, I think you have about a 10% chance, a good solid 10%.
10% getting kicked off or 10% staying?
No, 10% staying on, actually.
Anyone can be pretty. I'm sick of this. Just try harder.
You're about to give the keynote. We got 10 minutes. How do we do this? What do we do?
Badly and quick, I guess.
Okay, so this is it. Sydney Sweeney's bathwater. That's pretty good. She's half Jabba the Hutt, half Predator. It's like, what is that exactly? And you cut it, you could actually fold it in a way that her knees would look like her boobs. Has anyone ever seen that before? You could probably get an image. I don't know if we can put that on YouTube. And what are Democrats good at besides sort of talking like this with their limp wrists? I pay these people in Chipotle guacamole.
Team, I am in the boss's chair today. It is the recap episode. Dave has been out all month. All right, so you got to catch the show on Rumble, YouTube, Locals. Click, share, subscribe. Click the notification. All transparency. I was on a 14-hour journey to get to Dave yesterday, and I got about 3 hours of sleep. No amount of nootropics or coffee or nicotine gum is really helping, so things could go south quick. Warning, I said, would I say Pakistan to your team a little earlier when I was rehearsing?
So, is that a bit of news that broke?
Yeah.
That there's a new country called Pakistan?
Got quite a bit. I feel bad. It's like, I think I might have to get comfortable. I wanted to wear the shoes for the intro, but this is going to be a long one. I feel like I'm about to club a baby seal. So, okay, get comfortable. Where were you? How are you? How you feeling?
Well, first off, Jillian Michaels, it is nice to see you, my friend. I don't know that anyone is better suited to bring me back on the grid. Yes, it is true. I know nothing that has happened since the day I went off the grid last day of July. I avoided television, I avoided the internet, I avoided social media, all of the stuff. Unfortunately, this year, because of the way the phones have just infiltrated our lives in every which way, I had my phone a little bit for controlling lights in my house and alarms and turning on things and like moving blinds and so getting off the grid in Little House on the Prairie way is getting increasingly harder and harder and harder to do. But in terms of getting out of the system and the machine and the rat race and the hamster wheel, I completely did it. I do have to say, so I scribbled down a few things real quick before we get to the news. I will say one thing about the news before I get to just some random stuff that happened over the month. I don't get the sense that anything major happened.
I was going to ask if you have predictions.
Yeah, so my sense is that nothing absolutely crazy happened, like some kind of big war or an assassination or a death. I don't get a sense of that because when I was out and about, either at the airport or at the supermarket or whatever, when people were coming up to me, everybody, nobody was jumping at the gun, oh my God, the thing. There wasn't a lot of that. People were
the bar.
Right.
Nobody was killed and nobody dropped a nuke. So nothing major happened.
Right. There weren't any power outages here. So my general sense is that it was a relatively quiet month. I'm probably going to eat those words in just moments. But I scribbled down a few things because,
you sure?
Getting away. Well, I don't know. You have a lot of paper there and you were laughing hysterically right before we started. So, But I thought I would just mention a few things having nothing to do with the news before we get back on, because when get it
out of your system.
This is my ninth year of doing this, and I'm like you, I'm a creature of all of this. I love the news, I love the cycle, I love the culture stuff and all of that stuff, but also the escape is for me, it's to reconnect with something else. It's something that we all were part of way before the internet began, where we were just here and present all the time. And I have spent a month being really, really present. The last interview that I did, I think it was on July 31st, and then we put it up on August 1st, was with Eckhart Tolle. And we talked about present and taking a breath, and I really took that in this month. So just a couple things that I scribbled down. I won't spend too much time on it because I know everybody wants to get to the news that I miss more importantly.
Well, they know it, so I think they probably actually want to hear about your month away.
So let me offer up a couple things. Well, first off, the only thing that I watched today. So finally today, for a split second, I opened up YouTube. I didn't look at anything. Yeah. But one thought that was popping in my head for the entire month, almost every day, is that I'm the luckiest guy in the world. I kept thinking that over and over. I spent so much time with my kids who are doing, you just saw them, they came in here, who are doing so great and learning how to swim now and taking them to the beach and going in the ocean and just watching them develop a sense of humor and all of this stuff.
And it gets better.
And I have no doubt it gets better, and then it probably gets worse and crazy and awesome and all of that stuff. But I had so much time with that. David and I got to escape for a while. We had 10 days, just the two of us, to kind of reconnect. It was our 10th anniversary last week. We've been together 15 years, but married 10 years. We got to escape and have some solo time, which is also important and all that. But the one thing that I did watch, it's only 2 minutes long, but I watched the Lou Gehrig speech from, God, I don't even know what year it is, the black and white speech that he gave at Yankee Stadium, his last public appearance, when he had what came to be known as Lou Gehrig's disease. But he talks about, he now knows that he has this affliction. I don't have any affliction. But how he's the luckiest man alive. And I just kept thinking that throughout the month. I get to escape. I do what I want 11 months of the year. I have an incredible team. I have great colleagues and coworkers and employees and friends and family and all of these things. And then I get to escape and have nothing to do with any of it. And that's great too. So just more than anything else, whatever you're going to tell me, I'm just unbelievably appreciative of everybody that I'm around. You, these guys, so appreciative of everything. And it really, that just hit me over and over and over and over. So that's one nice thing. Now I'll just tell you a couple of random.
But comment on that. One comment real quick is, listen.
And it's hard.
What is luck? It's with opportunity and preparation. You've put in a lot of work to have this life. So I want to be really clear that this isn't luck in the traditional sense of the word. You've worked real hard to have this team and to cultivate this crew and to build this channel and to work on your relationships and to have this great dynamic with David and the kids. That's a lot of work.
Yeah,
you've earned all that.
It's work. Yeah, I guess that was partly what I was appreciative of. Part of the appreciation is that I worked really hard and do work hard to create those things, and then to have this month where I was able to step back for a second. Yeah. But one thing that was really good this month, it was really nice to not have everything be about me all the time. You know what I mean? That's a weird thing. When you're a public person, people know you, they expect things from you, they want things from you, you want to give them things. There's this weird public thing that a lot of it's about you all the time. Yeah. And then the social media part makes it ramped up on steroids. So to escape a little bit of that and to just be more present, literally, whether it was with a cashier or a waitress or whatever, I think was unbelievable. Now, let me just tell you a couple of funny things though. So I am sure that I am in the Guinness Book of World Records now for something that happened this month. I listened, and maybe David's with me on this, but I think I might have even beat him. We listened to the theme song of Ghostbusters more times than anyone in the history of the world in any 30-day period. On around August 1st, somehow the kids heard Ghostbusters. Yeah. It just popped up on something, I don't know. They are obsessed. And we listened to that song, it could be 10 to 20 times a day, including when we drove across Alligator Alley, about a 3.5-hour ride, basically nonstop Ghostbusters. Wow. You saw them this morning, they're in Ghostbusters shirts, Ghostbusters, and it was really weird because it's a great song, actually, it so captures the 80s and blah, blah, blah. But there's a weird thing that happens when you hear something over and over, you're I like it, I like it, I like it, then you go to some crescendo, then you start hating it, then because the kids are loving it, you start loving it again, and then it almost becomes it's almost like religious in nature after you've heard it so many times. And then by the end, by yesterday, I was like, I wouldn't mind hearing Ghostbusters right now. Like, so I am in some sort of, that was one thing. The other thing.
I hold that record for Frozen, by the way. I want you to know.
What's the main song in Frozen?
Oh my God. I've actually blocked it out, but it
what
was
is it? What is it? Let It Go, Let It Go. That's Connor's favorite song.
Oh my God, yeah.
The other thing, I ate a tremendous amount of watermelon this month. I think I ate probably half a watermelon a day for a month.
A lot of potassium.
You're a health lady. I don't know where that
lycopene?
I don't know
That's
where
nice.
that puts me, but I just
That's not
love
bad at all.
watermelon. I ate a lot of watermelon.
Okay.
Oh, this one you'll find interesting. And this actually I think
This
is
so
really
sweet. You're talking about watermelon.
we'll get to all the evil
so
in a minute.
Effed.
Just let me
You're just
ease in.
I ate watermelon. I'm like, oh, Dave.
Yeah, I know we're gonna raw dog this thing in a minute. Just let me ease in right now.
I know, it's okay.
What?
It's okay, D.
I took a nap every day, every single day, without fail. So for 30 straight days, I took a nap at some point. Sometimes it was only like a 15-minute nap. Sometimes it was an hour nap on the beach. Sometimes it was when the kids went down for a nap and I passed out on the couch. But the privilege to take a nap, to have the space in your life to take a nap. I know that sounds ridiculous probably, but something about it, like I am going to try to incorporate naps into my life more,
Europeans
like
do.
a little. Siesta. I know. Another thing, and this maybe I'm gonna have to spin off a show, but one thing I really got into with the kids at night, so I had more time to like put them down at night and read stories and stuff, which I love doing. We got a couple puppets, and I've been putting on puppet shows for them at night and doing all these different characters, the wizard and the robot and the old lady, and I do all the voices and everything for like an hour. I'm putting on like an hour show a night, and I like kind of incorporate.
We could get those real quick.
Probably not for
okay,
today.
sorry. Okay.
But I may be doing a puppet show soon. What else? I trained for the first time in my life. I've never had a trainer ever. But I was training 3 days a week, mostly working on legs and getting some stability and core and stuff. But I feel really good. I ate right. I didn't have one bad meal. I just ate right the entire time, which was good. And then I'll just say, well, let's see. And the kids swimming, like to watch them learn how to swim now is just so cool. And taking them out into the oceans, it was great. And then when we did go to Mexico for 10 days, just the two of us, and I started my tequila a couple months ago, Copal.
I was thinking tequila and puppets could be the show, actually.
That's not a bad idea.
I know.
But we brought tequila there. Our distillery actually wasn't far from where we stayed, so they brought it over to us. And we had some of the best tequila sommeliers in all of Mexico come and taste our tequila, and they loved it. So that was so affirming because this is something I've been working on for years, so that was lovely. And then let me just share one broad thought about politics and culture and life, and then you can take over.
Okay.
I really was thinking a lot. I think one of the things I try to do when I escape is how do I come back better than when I left? Not just do the rat race and be in this and just do it over and over and wake up and be like, oh my God, Whoopi Goldberg said this, and how do I be better at this thing? And I think one of the things that was driving me crazy for the last maybe 4 months before going off is there's been so much fighting on the right, for people that I thought were just everyone we thought we were all kind of roughly on the same side. Maybe we think different things about this or that or whatever, but so much fighting on the right. And it all, when you get off the freaking, I don't even have my phone on me, but when you get off the phone and you get off the machine and you're just with real people, you realize how little of it actually matters. I don't mean the news doesn't matter. Of course it matters. I don't mean culture doesn't matter or current events don't matter. But the bickering of who's going to destroy who, and I got this guy and this one, whatever, it just is so silly and ridiculous, and it has so little translation into reality. I talked to so many different people this month who and very little nothing about politics came up, but just talked to people from every walk of life. Yeah. Wherever I went, I was really aware to just if I could just say hi to somebody on the beach or just chat with people. And there's so much goodness. And so one of the things that I'm really going to try to do for this season of the show, which will roll into 2026, which is America's 250th birthday, is I'm going to double down on finding all of the good people that want to do great things with this country and fight for all of the freedom and beauty and goodness that there is, the bitterness and the fighting and all of the stuff. It's just utterly nonsensical, and I'm going to do my best not to take part.
You
I could
never
rattle
do,
off a
though.
million more things, but I think that I had to get a few things just out of my system.
You never do, though. You're always above it, and you're always a class act, and I think that's one of the reasons people love you and they trust you. I feel kind of bad simply because I was also away for a little while. I was gone for almost a month, starting in mid-July, so I had to catch up on all of it as well. And I remember coming home and thinking, like, how am I going to jump back into this stuff?
Yeah.
And if you do it with this renewed sense of purpose, of like, what's the bigger vision?
Yeah.
What am I going to try to tackle here when addressing this stuff? And it is about bringing goodness into the world and platforming great ideas and trying to make the country a better place. And you do that so well.
I try, and I will continue to try. But it is weird. This year, more than any other year, it feels weird to come back in some sense.
Why do you think that is? Because I felt it too. I felt it too. You're like, okay, hold on. We're going from 0 to 5th gear.
You know, this is like probably the easy version, so maybe I have to think it through a little bit more. The easy version would be that last year we were in the middle of an election year, so it was like I had to come back. I felt the need to come back. The year before that, they were primaries, and it was like, oh my God, the primaries, and who's going to be the VP, and blah, 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 like all the political stuff. This year, because it's like Trump's president, when I left, I felt like there were so many good things happening. I mean, that's what I'm talking about on the show all the time, despite the whatever bickering there is and everything. So it was easier to get off, you know what I mean? Like it was just easier to like get off the crazy train. So coming back on the crazy train, it definitely feels weird. I think it's going to take me a couple days now to get my sea legs and get back into it.
My goal
but
was
now
like,
you
okay.
can bludgeon me. You want to just paper cut me for 2 hours? You got a lot of paper there.
I'm going to ease you into it.
Okay.
And I want to try to make it as funny as I possibly can. But I'll be honest, some of it's alarming.
Can I ask you, is my general estimation, don't tell me if you think if it's going to blow anything, but is my general estimation that nothing like really crazy happened? Is that kind of right? Like that's just my.
It's all really crazy.
Right. I guess everything's
But that's
always
kind of the point.
Yeah.
So like we haven't hit, DEFCON 1, right? Like nobody's about to push the button, but it's pretty it is a little dystopian. I'm not gonna bullshit you.
It's
David, a little like a lot of there's some crazy stuff going on in the country, but nothing you haven't seen before.
Right.
But it
All right. Well.
some steps forward, some steps back.
Yeah. All right. Well, just one last thing to that, and then take it away, which is that a few times, David doesn't really care about politics the way I do, and we both he basically disconnects too, so that he doesn't have to know things that I don't know, and then that becomes like really strange or whatever. But he did keep saying, which I thought was interesting, and also will help me frame how I want to do the show for the next year, is that that everything has felt so crazy for so long. If you think of everything related to Trump and everything related to COVID and the way social media has shredded us and all these things, that things can only burn like that for so long, and then it becomes like a need for something else, and that's what I'm trying to figure out here. Like something about that. I do want to mention one more thing. Sorry, the only 2 movies that I watched during the entire month was about halfway through. I watched Weekend at Bernie's because I was just like, I want something completely idiotic that only has good feelings to me and is just like joy. And it was like, man, the 80s, our thing, the thing that like was our formative thing, was so freaking great. And I've said it before, but I think America has to get back to that somehow, like the feeling of the 80s. If we can capture that again, I think that's the off-road of the craziness. And then the other thing that I watch, and it's connected to this, and I promise you can take over, is I watched the new Jurassic Park a few days ago. Did you see it by chance?
I think I saw part of it.
Yeah. So it was, I thought, pretty terrible. And the only reason I'm even mentioning this is I think it signifies.
It's the reason I saw part of it.
Yeah.
I don't want to say anything shitty, but you said it. So
It was pretty terrible. But the reason I'm mentioning it is because it gets to the heart of what I think we need in culture. What we have to figure out is we keep retreading all of these things, right? We can't seem to come up with something new anymore, new scripts, new ideas, like new art. When was the last time you listened to new music? I listened to music all month.
My
Like we had
kids-
music playing 10 hours a day.
They listen to the Stones, Tupac,
Right.
Aretha, Amy Winehouse.
Which is all awesome, but it would be nice if someone could create
There's a new Tupac.
things.
Yeah.
So I'm watching this Jurassic Park, and it's stiff and it's terrible, and it's like they've done it all before. But not only have they done it all before, They did the original 3. The original 1 was a really good one. The 2 kind of after that, pretty crappy. Then they rebooted it, and it was like just kind of redoing it again. And now they're redoing the redo. And it just makes me wonder, like, what part of the thing are we in right now where we're redoing the redos? Like, we need something
That's
new,
fear.
and I'm going to really sit with that. Yeah.
Nobody wants to take a risk. So it's like, oh, that worked, so let's make the 16th iteration of it.
Yeah.
Because if you take a risk, you get fired. You know, gone are the days when they could let Cheers roll season after season as a failure with the knowledge that it's inherently good and will become one of the top shows of all time.
200 episodes later.
You'd be fired for doing that now.
Yeah.
It will tank episode 2, they'll pull it off the air, and that's it. So people just come from fear constantly.
We just need to renew some things, and I think we can do it. I'm going to do it with you.
All right.
Let's go.
All right,
what
ready?
do you got?
We got
Now tell me about all the people who died.
I just can't even. Here we go. I feel bad for you.
Yeah, okay.
So the first thing is we're going to break this into 3 parts, right? So we've got national politics and Trump, additional political news, pop culture news, which is batshit. But first, you are going on tour in Australia. Do we have a promo for this team?
Oh, do we have? Wow,
Look
at me.
Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane. Very, very exciting.
Wow, I'm getting right on the grid and going across the world. All right, good for me.
You've been on for 5 minutes and now you're gonna, you're
all right,
crossing the
thank
pond.
you for promoting the stuff.
Oh, anytime. All right, I do have some good news.
Okay,
all right,
wow,
you ready?
we're starting with good news. All right.
Kamala, I still to this day cannot pronounce her name right, so forgive me, is not gonna run for governor or president. And she went on Colbert and announced it. Take a look.
Yesterday, you made an announcement that you're not running for the governor of California.
Correct. Yeah.
You said you're going to sit this one out. Why are you sitting this one out? Are you saving yourself for a different office that might be?
No. I made the decision that for now, I don't want to go back in the system. I think it's broken.
Who's leading the Democratic Party? I'm just curious.
There are lots of leaders. And
there's generally a leader of the Democratic Party. You know, like, oh, that's the leader of the Democratic Party. Who comes to mind?
I think there are a lot of, I'm not going to go through names because then I'm going to leave somebody out and then I'm going to hear about it.
Oh, God, that's like watching a movie. When you stop watching that stuff for a while, that feels like watching like a scripted movie. First off, the failed guy who's going to be kicked out, the woman who was attacked, or no, not attacked, the woman who was justly criticized for never having a declarative sentence about anything. She can't name who's going to be the leader of the party.
No.
She's nothing. Like, that's the thing. Do people realize, like, what was the reaction to it nationally? Because do people realize we were on the precipice of electing nothing? Like, we were just electing the next cog in the system. That's what it was. Dementia guy to the cog.
I'm like, you are the system.
Right.
That is,
the system's
you
broken,
are the
lady.
definition of the system.
Lady, the system literally rejiggered itself in front of our eyes to make you the candidate. And now you don't like the system. Well, it's kind of like Colbert. He doesn't like the system very much anymore because when they pull your $20 million a year to have a $50 million deficit on your show, you're suddenly not. So did people care? Like, she's nothing. She's nobody. She's going to be a footnote. That's it. If I never have to say her name again, that would be a pleasure.
I cared simply because I thought if she becomes the next governor of California, it is the only way things could get worse there.
Oh, you still have hope for that place.
I do, and I
you
don't.
Do, I know.
You know, I get in fights with people about it that stay.
Yeah.
And I'm like, don't. Get out now. Run while you can. But being a native daughter of the state, having grown up there, thinking it's so beautiful, it has so much potential, and watching it be systematically destroyed by Gavin Newsom, and then knowing she was next in line, there is some relief for me there. I'm not gonna lie. And but the best part is like, oh no, I'm just such a good person. I want to work outside the system. It's like, no, you know you can't win.
Right.
You know you can't win. And if you need to save face and bow out gracefully, I'm going to let her have it.
Right. But also, what has she done? What has she ever actually accomplished? I know she put a lot of people in jail for minor weed offenses as Attorney General, but she should have never been running in the first place. She should have never been vice president in the first place. So it's not that she's not happy with the system. The system's done with you. You have no use. That's when these people are just cogs for the system. The system no longer has use for you. It would have had use for her if she had won. Then it could have used her to further whatever its agenda is, right? And I don't even mean that in like some crazy conspiracy way. Like, there is a system that's in place. I don't know that anyone knows exactly
Right.
what it is. There's something that is in place that orders this stuff. It no longer has use for a person who can only talk about concentric circles and Russia big, Ukraine small. So adios, lady. Don't let the door hit you on the way out.
Literally yesterday's news for that party,
Yeah.
and we'll get into that in a little bit.
Yeah.
But speaking of individuals that the system no longer has use for.
So far, 1 for 1. We got one good one so
They
far.
just
right?
trotted
Can
out.
We should be here.
Okay, you
I'll
ready?
keep a little tally on good,
Okay.
bad. Here we go.
So
there we go. Good,
Biden
bad.
appeared
Uh-oh.
at the National Bar Association gala, and he just looks.
Oh God.
Yeah,
Oh,
I don't know
God.
why they
We
keep
got
doing
video?
this. Take a
Oh,
look.
God.
And he brought his granddaughters to celebrate with him.
It has been to ease all the gains we've made in my administration, to erase history rather than make it, to erase fairness, equality, to erase justice itself. And that's not hyperbole, that's a fact.
So he
No,
goes
that's
on
hyperbole.
to talk about how Trump has erased his legacy, of which I'm still trying to figure out what that is outside of the auto pen and inflation and naps and botched Afghanistan withdrawal. And that is kind of the point, by the way,
Yeah.
is that we wanted to erase that.
Well,
So-
you know, I said that watching Kamala and Colbert is like watching a movie. Like watching him, it's just like watching a movie. Oh, you're an old man that they put up there to
That's
poorly read a script. What actually, my first reaction to seeing him again was, man, can you believe that it was just over a year ago where they were still telling us he was supposed to be president, right? He didn't step down until I think it was July, or when they forced him out actually, which we'll find out more about years from now. It was July of last year, so it's just over a year ago. They were going to pretend that that man was supposed to be president right now, and that so many people participated in that. Jake Tapper participated in it and then wrote a book about it.
I know.
Like, what an
The nerve.
utter farce. But you're so right about the legacy. Like, sorry, dude, what is your legacy? Well, you were in government for 50 plus years. You broke the border. You know, had draconian lockdowns during COVID. You forced vaxes. You weakened us across the world. Like, what is like? And then what at the end of all of that is like, what are you even going out there for at this
I
point?
don't
Dr.
know.
Jill. It's because Dr. Jill won't let the guy just take
It's
a
got to
nap.
be, because it's
Speaking of someone who needs to
starting
take
to
a nap.
look,
Yeah.
honestly, like abuse.
Yeah.
Like, stop trotting the guy out there.
Well, did you remember right before the election, I think it was the day before the election, they trotted out, I mean, this was the most sad of all of them, they trotted out Jimmy Carter's body, and he literally looked like the Crypt Keeper. No one should have seen him. He could not move, mouth agape, hollow eyes, and they said his last wish was to vote for Kamala Harris. Stop.
So
like,
awful.
I
I
don't
don't
know,
mean to laugh.
somehow if you step away for a
It's
month,
just
like
dark,
the lies,
right?
it's like we all know they're lying all the time, but you step away from a month, and then the lies seem like really,
Crazy.
it's like
Yeah.
really obvious.
That's what I mean when you're like,
Yeah.
well, I think all the countries are still there and no one died.
Right.
But when you gain some perspective, it's like,
Yeah.
man, this is pretty crazy. There's a lot of work to be done here.
All right. Well, look, I wrote good, bad. I have a tally now, so
Okay,
I'm gonna say that one was good. Like we're not gonna see much more of him. So I have two good. You've given me two good ones so
Okay,
far.
I get this one's just funny.
Okay,
All
just
right.
funny. I can work with.
So Hunter Biden has begun working as the director of development for an LA homelessness prevention organization called BASTA. Now, Hunter said that BASTA protects people from eviction, and they're the only group, at least in Southern California, that represents undocumented. So they don't take federal money. So his mission is to prevent the eviction of illegals that don't pay rent. Now,
He's running drug rehab to prevent the.
no, it's some sort of organization where you can't be kicked out of your
Oh
house.
wait, did I just add drug rehab into that myself? Am I just wow? My brain is coming back online. I heard Hunter Biden, and then I immediately thought drug rehab. That's funny. See what's happening? The thing is like starting to whir again. It's like when you remember the old days. You turn on a computer, it would be like ring, ding, ding, ding,
Yeah.
bing. Like something's
the
happening.
dial-up
Okay,
sound, I
so I
heard
just
it.
completely made that up. All right, put that aside for a sec.
Yeah.
Well, that's just well. Congratulations. He's probably the new party leader.
Well, and I
Like,
figured that he saw they lost $24 billion to these NGOs.
yeah. Oh, that's
and,
interesting.
And saw opportunity there.
I just don't understand. I genuinely do not understand the mindset of someone who now, at this point in 2025, would be like, oh, our main thing is that we should be keeping illegals here. Like, it's so profoundly insane. Like, if I illegally name a country, literally any country. Name a country.
Nigeria.
If I literally showed up in Nigeria one day as a visitor, and then 6 years later I had just never left, and then the Nigerians came to my door and were like, Dave, what are you doing here still? You were supposed to be here on vacation. I wouldn't expect the Nigerians to keep me there.
When I was in Rwanda,
it's profoundly insane.
I had to show proof that I was leaving. They're like, and when are you exiting the country? I'm like, oh, okay.
Just to get in, you had to prove that you were leaving. Yeah.
They're like, when's your exit ticket?
I really want to do safari in Rwanda.
It was awesome. I have to admit.
Was it a safari that you did?
It was to go see the gorillas, so gorilla safari,
Yeah,
the kids, and then went to Tanzania and Kenya. But you know what's crazy? I had just picked up my kids because they were with my ex in Los Angeles. So I go to LA to get the kids, and I actually posted this video. This was in July, so you were still here, and it looked like I know it's not politically correct to say it, but I want the impact. It looked like the third world. And it was 10 minutes from Beverly Hills. It wasn't Skid Row. It was garbage everywhere in 10 cities, and it looked
Oh yeah, I live there. I've seen it.
Then I go to Rwanda. And there's kids playing soccer at 10 o'clock at night. There's not a piece of trash on the street.
Right. There's like gorillas building nice hospitals. Yeah.
Dave. And I was like, wow, talk about an upside down world right now. So you make a very good point. Have a lot to talk to you about on immigration, so I'm not going to get into it right now.
Okay.
Hunter went on, by the way, to talk about how Melania Trump was introduced to DJT by Epstein. There's a video of this, of course. Take a look.
Epstein introduced Melania to Trump. The connections are like so wide and deep. Anyway, why do we think they don't want the files released?
And do we believe the crack addict?
No, of course not. But here's what I did find interesting. So I guess Daily Beast kind of ran with this, and long story short...
But Daily Beast is utter garbage. Utter garbage. They're all garbage. I mean, they're all garbage. Yeah.
It's all lies, and it's lies on purpose, and the only way I'm beginning to realize personally that you can stop it is by pursuing it legally. So she turned around and threatened Hunter Biden with $1 billion lawsuit.
Oh, wow.
Over his defamatory remarks. She demanded a retraction and removal and an apology. But basically, they forced the Daily Beast to retract it.
Wow. And did he personally retract it too? So he didn't, but the Daily Beast
I don't believe he
did.
did. Phoenix, am I wrong about that? I don't think he did, Dave.
Yeah.
But the Daily Beast did.
Interesting.
I know. And I got to tell you, he has been obviously on a tear, going after all of these legacy media. I'm not even going to call them
One of the
news.
last things before I left was his crazy podcast where he just like tore everybody a new one, all of the Democrats, and
It's working though. It is working, and I personally am taking a few, tricks from him right now, because if you don't do that, they'll just flat out lie.
Right.
And it's wild. You can provide proof like this is not true.
Yeah.
And they do it anyway and completely disregard it. Because the narrative is so strong, the incentive to paint certain pictures is so strong and so divisive. So he's been pursuing all of this legally, and it is working. And you see it with the Daily Beast, which is somewhat encouraging, but who has hundreds of thousands of dollars to go after it legally all the time, so they push the envelope.
It is partly when I mentioned that the only sort of political thing I was thinking about was this infighting on the right thing. Like, so much of it is just based in how social media is exacerbating and amplifying lies, like just lies and nonsense and reconstructionist history and just like all of this craziness. But what do we do about that, right? Like, I don't know that there really is no like truly clean answer if you're for free speech. And then we have this weird thing where at some level, if you don't have moments like this where someone who has the means will use the machine to push back on a lie, then there will be no way to decipher truth at all. So it's like, you don't want the wife of the president to have to feel like she has to sue a freaking stupid brag, But on the other hand, otherwise it just goes and goes and goes and goes. And what is that? Like, we need something. Like, the truth is like the anchor,
they have
basically.
no consequences.
Yeah.
And I again, like I'll fill you in on some of it as the show goes on, but I've experienced it now personally, and you have to take action. You can provide. Like, this didn't happen. I have the proof, and they just negate it.
Jillian, my friend, it's right out of camera over there, but that is a front page New York Times Sunday piece from about 6 years ago with me on the front page calling me basically the head of the alt-right. I mean, what do you do? What do you do? I talked to lawyers about suing them, and they were basically like, yeah, if you want to spend hundreds of $1,000s
That's right.
to be in an endless lawsuit that you probably won't win because you're a public person, they'll drain you forever, and they have endless resources.
Yep.
So what do you do? Again, like, that's something that we all are just going to have to figure out more and more, especially as AI continues and fakes and blah, blah, blah. All right, so far I'm not sensing anything too crazy here.
All right, this one's a little
Kamala's
bananas.
out, Biden, crack, okay, whatever.
So this one's a little bit nuts.
Okay.
So Tulsi Gabbard and Russiagate. You didn't catch any of this, did you?
I know she's been trying to expose some things.
Okay,
and
so
I think that 2 days before I left, she basically said that Hillary, there was some stuff around Hillary and Russiagate.
The long and the short of this, and then I'll break it down bit by bit here, is she's basically saying that Obama and Hillary Clinton and now George Soros' Open Society Foundation concocted this entire Russiagate thing that Obama was told by Clapper, his DNI, right? Like, there's nothing to see here. Russia didn't collude in any effective way on behalf of Trump, and they said kind of do it anyway, right? So
some of that was breaking just as I left.
All right. Okay. Now, there were some emails that were purportedly found from this guy, Leonard Bernardo. Okay, so this guy was the regional director for Eurasia at the Open Society Foundations. Okay, now this guy claims he's never seen these emails before, but I copied one for you because I wanted to read it verbatim, this little section from it. So one of these emails stated that Hillary Clinton had approved a campaign advisor's idea, quote, about Trump and Russia hackers tampering with U.S. elections. That should distract people from her own missing email, especially if the affair goes to the Olympic level. The point is making the Russian play a U.S. domestic issue say something like a critical infrastructure threat for the election to feel menace, since both POTUS and VPOTUS have acknowledged the fact IC would speed up searching for evidence that is regrettably still unavailable. This is supposedly a direct email from this guy.
That all sounds like exactly what happened. Okay.
Of course, they deny all of it. Yeah. Now, August 4th, Pam Bondi orders the DOJ to launch a grand jury probe into Russiagate. So we've got a video on that one. Take a look.
Well, Will, good to be with you. This is coming out of the Justice Department. Fox News can confirm that Attorney General Pam Bondi today signed an order directing an unnamed U.S. federal prosecutor to take evidence to a grand jury relating to an alleged conspiracy to tie then 2016 candidate Donald Trump to the country of Russia. Now, Fox News reviewed the one-page order just hours ago signed by the Attorney General. A source familiar with the probe confirms this as well, while a DOJ spokesperson declined to comment on this report of an investigation. Fox is told Attorney General Bondi is taking the referrals from Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard, quote, very seriously. The spokesperson says that Bondi believes there is, quote, clear cause for deep concern, end quote, and a need for the next step.
Okay, so now Taibbi tells Cuomo that he thinks indictments are going to come down from this. So take a look at this one.
I think there are going to be indictments. I was very skeptical on that question even a couple of weeks ago, but I have heard repeatedly from these folks that they understand that this is not a hearts and minds contest and that they are not doing this for show, and that if they don't end up in a courtroom, that this will be a massive political failure for them. So I do think that there will be significant indictments. I just don't know what for.
Well, that's interesting. Has anything else happened subsequently before I comment?
I mean, it's more of the same. Tulsi declassifies files that show former Director of National Intelligence James Clapper in December complied with Obama's orders to fabricate the Russia hoax before Trump took office. DNI Gabbard reveals Clapper sought to compromise normal procedures to rush the Russiagate hoax intelligence report. It kind of goes on and on like this. Then the administration revoked security clearances for 37 officials alleging that they weaponized intelligence. So that's it. But here's what's scary about this is sort of no one cares.
So that actually is kind of what I was going to say.
Yeah, sort of no one cares.
Right, because the top of that you mentioned was right at the beginning of the month, and now we're already into September, and these things, they burn hot for a second, and then everyone just moves on. It's like anything as it relates to COVID. No matter how many people you killed, or you threw people back in old age homes, or you injected children with things, nobody pays the price. And when anyone pays the price, it's always the wrong person or a patsy or something.
Yep.
So the only difference I would say, and this is what you know Tulsi a little bit, right? I feel like maybe
we've never met
have you never
in person,
met?
But we've chatted on the phone a couple times.
What I can tell you about Tulsi, I know her fairly well, I would say. She is a good, decent human being who loves this country and really wants to do the right thing. I don't know exactly everything in her brain and heart, but like to the extent that I know her on camera and off, I can absolutely say that with confidence about her. She does not strike me as the type of person that would just come in and just kind of make up stuff or placate to the system or whatever you want. It's a little bit like Dan Bongino. You could say whatever you want about Dan, and I know a lot of people kind of turned on him a few months ago around some Epstein stuff, and I was like, this guy has fought for every good thing forever. Like, maybe he's not giving you exactly what you want right now, but you got to give him a little bit of grace. So, look, if indictments start coming, that's different than just, okay, we found some emails and this or that or the other thing. So, all right, that's interesting. That's something. That feels like some newsworthy something. But to your point, it just kind of...
And like the left completely ignored it.
Yeah.
Right? And the right kind of like, oh, something, maybe there's something there. Oh my God, prison. Every Twitter feed, prison. We want jail time.
Well, it's also why I'm really trying to focus on the positive stuff happening in the country all the time.
I think that's
because
better.
It's the only thing that solves any of this. Like, whether you indict somebody or you arrest, like, are we better? I'm not saying Hillary shouldn't.
And where's that going to go?
Right.
And you're jailing your opponents, and then it's a slippery slope, and then everything's vindictive, and that's what I mean.
So so we have to be
know,
careful.
Dave.
So we have to be careful what we ask for with that stuff. And I think the only thing that solves this, and this is why I'm so bullish on this 250th anniversary of America thing coming up next year, is that the only thing that solves it is success. Success of the country solves it. Success is the thing that makes racists be a little less racist. Like when things are going well. Success is the thing that makes you be a little less jealous, that makes you be a little more humble, that makes more people want to cooperate with each other and everything else. When things aren't going well, that's when everybody's turning to try to get everybody and destroy everything. And unfortunately, the left has been really good at decimating so many of the good things that I think a lot of people...
Everything is just resist.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. That's all they're about.
Oh, how boring.
Is just resist, no matter what. I've got some good stuff for you on that one that is so freaking crazy that will illustrate the point, I think, better than anything.
Okay.
All right.
Again,
and I'll get to that in a minute, and I'm sure the audience is pretty clear on what I'm referring to.
Okay.
But we'll get to that. But everything is just resist at all costs, no matter what. And you're going to see it in the news.
Yes, we must stop all of this good stuff from happening, because then they won't need us. That's the thing. Yeah. Right.
Or we'll never be in power again.
Right.
So if we don't position it as crime is good, and homelessness is good, and illegal immigration is good, and red food dye is good, then where are we?
Yeah.
Because you didn't fix it. If anything, it all got worse. So I got something cute for you.
All right, something cute.
It looks like Trump is doing renovations, so take a look.
Oh, they were going to build a ballroom or something?
It's kind of cute.
Mr. President, what are you doing up there?
Come down and talk to us.
What are you building?
Are you considering more renovations, sir?
I actually couldn't quite hear what he said, but like, we really don't deserve the guy. We really don't. Like, it is never going to get more real and ridiculous in the good sense and functional in the best sense, and all. It's just never going to get better than this. Like, if we can't do what needs to be done, sort of politically, to turn around some of the stuff that we're always talking about. If this isn't it, if this isn't enough, how does it? So what are they doing? What are they? They're building. We're building a second level.
But that's the thing. I'm like, well, if he's doing a ballroom, why is he on the roof?
Yeah.
I don't know. He's such a lunatic. But like, anything's possible. He might be. I thought, is he?
Wait, you'll love this.
Like, what are the zoning laws with the White House? Do you think?
You'll love this. So we go away with the kids these last few days. We were at a little beach place not too far from here, and the kids. Luke kept saying, "I want to go back to the White House. I want to go back to the White House." And I'm like, "What is he talking about? The White House? He wants to go to the White House." We've read them books about the Statue of Liberty and whatever. You want to go back to the White House. And then we realized that my house it's a big white house.
That's so
and he
cute.
wanted to go back to the White House the entire time. So now he's back at the White House and he's very happy.
Kids love home at the end of the day.
Yeah.
They get a little older though, and then you can take them on kind of crazy adventures. But I mean,
and we are doing renovations here, which Donald Trump could probably do a lot faster and cheaper than what I'm paying the contractors in Miami.
Are you
I'll show you what's going on in there.
I just am wrapping one up in
I know.
Jackson,
you had a big
and
one.
it has taken years of my life.
Yeah.
So good luck with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Keep me in the loop. It's good you have a tequila company. Yeah. We've got a lot to cover, but just make sure
you're well stocked. You mean to pay for it or to drink through my sorrows?
Oh my God, babe. Wait till they don't show up.
Yeah. Oh.
Wait till they're 3/4 the way through the job and they don't show up.
Yeah, I'm in Miami, I understand.
They just vanish and everything is 10 times more and yeah. Anyway, so that was cute. All right.
Okay. All right. Again, so far I'm not sensing anything crazy or anything. Okay.
No.
Yeah, okay.
There's some stuff. Anyway, we'll get there. Stuff that I don't love that I'll share with you.
Okay.
I'll give you a little precursor. I think. No, I'm not. We'll get there when we get there. Okay, because this is a good one.
Okay.
So Trump got the leaders of Armenia and Azerbaijan to sign peace agreements and shake hands after 35 years of conflict. So
not surprising.
this is a great one. So take a look at that.
President of the United States, the President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, and the Prime Minister of the Republic of Armenia will now sign the joint declaration on the outcomes of the Trump Route for International Peace and Prosperity Summit.
That's really
They will
beautiful.
sign 3 copies in.
Yeah, reminds me of Hitler, doesn't it?
I was just about to I wanted to give the guy his due here.
Yeah.
So you know this, but just for anybody watching, I mean, he negotiated peace, even though there's still some little bit of fighting on the borders of Congo and Rwanda.
Yep.
I mean, the guy de-escalated the situation in India and Pakistan. Cambodia and Thailand border dispute, put it to bed. Egypt and Ethiopia negotiations he hosted in August 2025, put that to bed. The Iran and Israel situation seems to be under a ceasefire still. The U.S. and the Houthis ceasefire was announced. I mean, like, he is a president for peace.
It's almost like America's supposed to lead the world, that it's a heavy burden and somebody's got to do it. And if it's not us, it's going to be much worse. And when we abdicated the duties, as we did for 4 years under a president whose brain wasn't in his head, that was a problem. And now we're trying to fix it. It's almost like that, don't you think?
What I find crazy is the people who can't stand him somehow manage to not see any
They never
of it.
see the good stuff.
None of it.
Never see the good stuff.
Zero.
Yeah.
Now, I do have to give you a bit of an update on the Ukraine situation.
Okay.
And I got to tell you, D, at the end of the day, I still think it's much ado about nothing.
Okay.
Bottom line is we are losing this. And we had the off-ramps. We didn't take it. Putin's winning, and there's really no incentive for him to stop. Now, I got to give you the update because I thought we were making progress. So here's what happened. Trump brought Putin to Alaska. The left went bananas.
Oh, they met? They met in person?
They met in person.
Oh, wow.
Okay, I got a lot to show you on this one. So he had the all-star foreign policy team together for the negotiations. The left was like, I can't believe you're bringing him to America. And it's like, why though?
Yeah.
Why would that be an issue? As Trump says, I want people to stop dying.
Yeah.
And I mean, I personally would do anything to make that happen in large part. So take a look at kind of the whole, the whole throwdown here. So here we are. I don't know that I necessarily need to narrate this for you, but they in fact meet in Alaska. All right, they're on the airstrip here. And then you've got Trump standing with Putin. They're smiling. You've got Marco Rubio and Steve Witkoff there with him. It was a whole thing.
Wow.
And, you know, yeah, I thought we were going to get somewhere here. Now, on the 15th of August, Putin says that he hopes the agreement can be reached with Trump and he wants to, you know, have peace. And Trump says he's going to call Zelensky and NATO regarding this meeting. So we got another video on that. Take a look.
If he could bring about the end to this terrible war where Putin is the aggressor, invading a neighbor country, trying to change the borders. If President Trump were the architect of that, I'd nominate him for a Nobel Peace Prize.
Huh.
No, we jumped ahead a little bit on that one. So,
okay,
so
well, that's pretty good.
She kind of sets him up to fail, though, because she basically is like, if we don't have to give up any territory, I'm like, what do you mean you don't have to give up any territory? Yeah. Putin's already winning. He's already got it. So she's basically, in my opinion, what she does there is essentially say, no matter what happens, even if he brokers peace, you lost.
Meaning that Ukraine would have to give up some territory. They're going to have to give up some territory.
Exactly.
It's just reality.
That's
right?
the point.
Yeah.
That's what I see her doing, is saying, like, there's no way this guy can win, because I'm going to set the bar impossibly high. Because no one took the off-ramps in 2022 when there were, you know, Putin didn't know how it would play out. Now, as mentioned, he is winning.
Yeah.
So this kind of goes on. Putin does say that he can confirm the war wouldn't have happened if Trump was in office, whatever the hell that means. Trump then says on August 16th that Russia and Ukraine should go directly to a peace agreement instead of a ceasefire. There's the Hillary thing, like, oh yeah, if he could pull this off, blah, blah, blah. Now here's something cute. Zelensky shows up in a suit.
Wow, we got a suit? Somebody went to H&M? Let's see.
Let's roll this. Okay, so he gets the whole, like, EU, all the leader, Macron's there, Merz is there, freaking Melania, the whole NATO, Europe situation, they're all there. And we got a 40-second video of that one.
The best I had. Ready, face? Ready, step?
I think in the past 2 weeks we've probably had more progress in ending this war than we have in the past 3.5 years.
I really want to thank you, President of the United States, dear Donald, for the fact that you, as I said before, broke the deadlock basically with President Putin by starting that dialogue.
You know, if I can save 7,000 people a week from being killed, I think that's a pretty. I want to try and get to heaven if possible. I'm hearing I'm not doing well. I hear I'm really at the bottom of the totem pole. But if I can get to heaven, this will be one of the reasons.
Well, all right. This all sounds good, but I'm guessing nothing's happening here.
Nothing's
the way
happened yet.
Yeah.
Nothing's happened yet. I mean, we do have. Here's some. The bottom line is that Bill Maher praised Trump because he, quote, really does not like war. I mean, like, you know, Bill comes out and will call balls and strikes. Still loves Gavin Newsom, which I can't understand. Oh, we got a video of it. I don't know.
No, Bill, don't.
Yeah.
It's funny, I see that today is the anniversary of Woodstock. This is 56 years ago. And the hippies, what did they hate more than anything else? War. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. So if you're the kind of person who says, you know, you can find some good in anybody, this would be the good in Donald Trump. He really does not like war.
I mean, I do love that Bill said that. Here's where we're at, though. The reality is that Trump has, I'm not sure if you were here for this, he's now going to have NATO buy weapons for us, and he's going to arm Ukraine.
So I think that was happening right as I was leaving.
He's going to have to do it. And he's also introducing secondary sanctions. So he's putting a 50%, he's raising it from 25% to 50% sanction on India because they're buying fuel from Russia. So, and you know, he's going to try to get people to kick them out of SWIFT and the whole thing. But you know,
so it's a little bit of like have it both ways.
You got the reality is, you know, Victor Davis Hanson says, like, if you want peace, plan for war.
Of course, that's right. Peace through strength. Like
exactly. I think he doesn't have a choice because there's just no. What would be the incentive? Honestly, this is not in the notes. Just between you and I, when you look at this. From the outside, what is Putin's incentive to stop?
I have said the same. People could go back to when did this all start? 3+ years ago at this point. I have said the exact same thing from day one on this thing, which is at the end of the day, Putin has nukes. So yes, did he invade a sovereign country? Yes. is that a little more complex than usual borders because of the breakup of the Soviet Union and all that? Yes, fine. But at the end of the day, the guy that invaded has nukes. So the idea that, okay, we can give him 20 more tanks or 40 more planes, the Ukrainians obviously, or this much more money, or pay their pensions or whatever, that as if that's going to end the war at some point, it's like, no, that doesn't, because if Putin ever was really losing the war, he has the ultimate weapon.
Exactly.
So what really are we doing here? I don't know. This isn't one where I just, to me, you have to just grant Trump a long leash on this. He's at least trying.
Everything.
So,
he's trying diplomacy.
Yeah.
He's rearming Ukraine, but not with our tax dollars.
Yeah.
He's trying secondary sanctions now. He's trying every
So what are
avenue.
they saying? Like, why is it not
I don't
working?
know, babe. It's just stalled. We're waiting on this trilateral meeting between him and Putin and Zelensky. But Melania said this, or Trump said this of Melania, that he goes home after these meetings. He's like, everything went great. Everything's gone so great. And she goes, are you sure? Because he just blew up a bunch of kids and just nailed another city. I mean, at the end of the day, whether there were off-ramps, whether we wanted this war or not, I don't think anyone can deny that Putin he's bananas. You're not dealing with...
he's a former KGB agent.
Yeah,
he's a crafty guy. He's he's been in power for, democratically elected for a long time.
Yeah.
This is not going to be an easy one, but...
No. I mean, so...
All right, so that's just kind of
that's kind
limbo.
of where we're at.
Okay.
All
right.
So yeah, okay, that's okay, sanction, blah, blah, blah. I mentioned all that to you. Okie dokie. I like this story. Okay. Now then. Elon and Trump have agreed on something again, and it is over big balls. Do you remember Ed Cordestein?
There was a kid whose screen name was Big Balls or something? That
Yes,
worked with Doge,
he was part of
something like
Doge.
that? Yeah, okay.
Okay. So listen to this. This sparked like a huge thing that's going on, and it's a really big deal right now, actually. I think for the better. Of course, the left is in an authoritarian panic. Long story short, Big Balls is out with his girlfriend. As far as I know, she was his girlfriend. So saved a woman from being assaulted. I thought they were a couple. I'm not totally sure. From a bunch of kids, like 14 teenagers, that beat the shit out of Big Balls.
That's Big Balls?
That is Big Balls. Isn't he cute, actually? He's a cute kid. So listen to this. They beat up Big Balls, who acts like a ginormous hero and tries to save the lady. The judge... They catch two of these teenagers, and she basically releases them with no consequences.
Wait, so they were just they were trying to steal this woman's car or something, and he just randomly...
Saved a woman being assaulted by her car. I thought it was his girlfriend, and they were together, and he told her to take off.
Is that the woman, or is that the judge?
That's the judge.
That's the
That's the judge. So Big Ball stays behind in this act of heroism and gets the crap kicked out of him by 14, I think it was like 14 teenagers.
Jesus.
They catch two of these kids.
Should I ask the ethnic makeup of this? Because I'm going to guess that probably colors the story, so to speak.
There was something unrelated to this. So one of the things that is in a really bad place are race relations. We have some stuff on it involving me.
Oh, God.
But with that said, there was an issue. This is not in here. But there was a teacher, I think he was a Harvard professor, who got the crap kicked out of him by a couple of teens in a movie theater, and then turned around and was like, I can't describe them. And then, of course, everybody online was like, oh, okay, and it begot all of this crazy racist remarks on both sides.
But the racial makeup was obviously what we think it is.
Presumably.
Because he couldn't. So he was white and they were black. Like, let's not.
Presumably.
Yeah.
So I'm not entirely sure, what race these kids were. But this is not...
So colorblind, you can have a bunch of people kick the shit out of you and you don't know that. You've really been had the shit kicked out of you and you don't know what color they are.
Yeah. I'll get to kind of what's gone on with that issue in a little bit.
Okay. But wait, what happened with Big Balls?
So
here?
ready for this? So Trump turns around and he's like, F it, I'm federalizing D.C. And he took over law enforcement and basically just got everybody on the ground. So let me read it to you as it's supposed to be, told. But the long story short is he gets the guard in the mix, and but like everybody, the FBI, like everybody actually got involved. And the long and the short of this, I mean, there's a video actually. Then hold on. Before we get to the video, let me just tell it to you without the notes. So he's like, screw this, I'm taking over. And the long story short is, DC's crime is bananas, right?
Yep.
It's 3 times higher than pretty much any blue city. The homicide rate is like 6.5 times higher than New York and California or Los Angeles. And everybody goes crazy. The left is going nuts. Now, to the credit of the police chief and the mayor, Bowser, right? They did say, I have to be honest, they did say, we want to see what we can do with the resources. Now, the left has gone wacky because they're like, this is nuts. Crime is at what is it, like a 30% low? I can't remember exactly. It's never been lower. It's 30% lower. However, as mentioned, it's still ridiculously high. And there's some evidence to suggest that law enforcement there has kind of been cooking the books on the statistics.
Right, they don't report certain things now.
They changed the crimes.
Yeah.
So there's actually a guy, I made a note of this because I don't want to get his name wrong in all of these notes somewhere in here. But long story short, he was like a commander who was put on administrative leave. He denies this, but for kind of cooking the books and making more serious crimes, little misdemeanors. But the actual police union came out and said it's not just him, it's everybody is kind of complicit in this. And nevertheless, whether it's true or whether it isn't true, DC's crime is still bananas. So he federalizes the Guard, and the statistics are, Dave, they're incredible. Crime plummets. Now, I don't have, unfortunately, for some reason, I must have it on another page. Here we go. Okay. And then I got videos to show you. But CNN reported that President Trump's DC takeover produced a drop in crime. Now, when I was on CNN, they didn't admit this, so I must have missed this episode of CNN.
Oh, right. Last time I saw you, you were going to CNN, right?
Yeah, I've got a lot to tell you about that, Dave. In the meantime, there was a huge spike in immigration arrests. Property crime is down 19%. Violent crime is down 17%. Robberies and car break-ins are down 40%. The U.S. Marshals arrested 141 violent fugitives in Operation Memphis Streets. Okay, so now let's go to this video. Oh, one more thing I want to tell you. So he then turns to the homeless shelters and says, I'm cleaning all this up. You guys get the choice of rehab, counseling for mental health issues. We're going to put you in shelters. We got video of this one, so I want you to watch this one. So let's see this one, guys. Can I see this 58-second video here?
In addition, I'm deploying the National Guard to help reestablish law, order, and public safety in Washington, D.C., and they're going to be allowed to do their job properly. And you people are victims of it, too. You know, you're reporters, and I understand a lot of you tend to be on the liberal side, but you don't want to get mugged and raped and shot and killed. And you all know people and friends of yours that happened.
Homeless individuals will be given the option to leave their encampment, to be taken to a homeless shelter, to be offered addiction or mental health services.
They said I'm good. They said I'm good. Good content for tomorrow. What's going on? Hey, how are you? Okay, excuse us.
I don't know.
Did I do it right?
All right, well,
I don't know.
I want that guy on the show. Whatever just happened right there.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But the reality is it's actually working.
Yeah. Well, I'm shocked. Do you mean if you tell people that you're going to clean up cities and you actually start doing something, it starts cleaning up cities? Is that what you're telling me?
That's what I'm telling you.
My God, a lot has happened since I've been gone. First off, I love what Trump says there. It's so exactly why Trump is great. He goes, a lot of you are on the more liberal side, but you don't want to be mugged and shot and raped and murdered. And you know the saying, of course, which is a conservative is just a liberal who's been mugged by reality. Right. And that's what right?
Me?
Like literally you, so many of us, why I left the left, so many of the old school liberals all woke up partially because of COVID or because of crime in the cities or whatever it might have been, because suddenly you're like, oh, I would prefer not to be stabbed with a hypodermic needle when I'm going to take my kids to the library. So, okay, sometimes it takes a scary conservative to clean things up. So that all seems good. I do want to know more about the guy who was that a guy or what the hell was that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But it has been, in my opinion, given the statistics, a huge success. And as mentioned, the police chief and now, okay, hold on. Pam Bondi also basically took away her power to now call it a sanctuary city. So they're staging a takeover.
There should be no such thing as a sanctuary city. Like, come on, okay.
Okay, all right. So nevertheless, it looks like a staggering success. Of course, the left is like, it's authoritarian. He's taking over our cities. Oh my God. And this is what I mean when I tell you resist at all costs, because it's like, are you not happy? Look at the numbers. Yeah. There's no innocent here. We don't have a story of, oh, they accidentally shot an innocent guy taking his daughter to school because they're such authoritarian monsters. It's none of that. It's just bad guys going to jail.
It's not compassionate to have criminals out on the street. It's not compassionate to have homeless people setting up encampments and drugs everywhere like in San Francisco. That's not compassion. That's the reverse of compassion. They have faux compassion. That's the thing.
Can I highlight a little hypocrisy for you that I personally enjoyed? You can. Okay, so they all went crazy when they cleaned up the homeless encampments, right? But somehow we forgot Gavin Newsom's photo op in 2024. Remember when he pushed on the Supreme Court to allow him to force cities to clean up the homeless encampments?
Yeah.
And then showed up for the photo op, like taking all the homeless people's stuff and throwing it in the garbage?
Do we have a picture? Is that?
We definitely have a picture of it.
Yeah.
But my point is, like, when Gavin does it.
Of course. Remember when Xi Jinping came to San Francisco and they suddenly managed to get all the homeless people were all gone, and then they all appeared like 3 days later. Where the hell did they put them?
I don't know. I hope you gave them all their stuff in the process.
You know he's grinding them up and using them as hair gel.
I don't disagree with you. I don't. Yeah. Now here's where this gets a little nuts. So in Trump fashion, he says that he is going to deploy the military to Chicago and then New York and then possibly LA. Now in DC he can do that legally. But I don't see how he does it in Chicago, New York, and LA. I'm not quite sure. I get the Insurrection Act? I have no idea.
Right, I guess it's the Insurrection Act. Right, for crime, because that's different than when you deploy to find illegals, which is the job of the federal government. So have they done any of this yet?
Not yet.
Yeah.
But it has been such a staggering success. And it's so funny because the left is like, oh yeah, until it comes to a city near you. And I was like, yes, please.
Right.
come clean up LA. Can LA be next?
You know, it's so funny. One of the things that I thought of a lot during the month is because I was just doing things around the house and I'm like here and just doing errands and just stuff here in Miami. It's so clean, it's so pleasant, it's so safe.
I know.
You go out at night, there's no, it's not that nothing happens here, right? There's no perfect system, but it's just, it functions the way it should. So that's another reason why my general sense, I thought, might be a little bit off, because I was like, oh, I'm in my bubble here that is a goodness bubble because of, it's not a miracle though. It didn't just like come out of nothing, right? It didn't just like peer out of osmosis. It came out of proper governance and really good people that realized that they should have some skin in the game and get involved, and then it turns into proper policing and all those things. So yeah, if he suddenly was like, I have to send the troops to Miami, I'd be like, all right, now we got a problem here. But sending them to the places.
You saw what happened over in Chicago over Labor Day, did you?
Wait, yesterday?
No. Over the whole Labor Day weekend.
No, I didn't.
Shootings, deaths.
I've been off the grid for the month. I don't know.
Even the Labor Day, I thought maybe you caught some of that.
No, nothing.
Yeah,
I have no idea.
That's not.
There were shootings in Chicago?
I mean, yeah, the usual.
Well, shit.
Pretty bad. So that's arguably.
How many? I mean, there's always shootings in Chicago.
Gosh, it was like 50?
Oh, that even for
I don't
Chicago.
know how many were killed. Phoenix, how many? I've been trying to there's video of it and people on the ground and there's bullets flying.
Right, so is it compassionate to just be like, all right, we're going to give the city up to the warlords? Like, of course not.
I have to wonder, this is kind of my point. I've got such crazy shit to show you, but this is sort of my point with the left where it's just resist at all costs.
Yeah.
And you make a great things out of horrible things.
But
like,
the
homeless
thing is,
people in the streets, it's awesome.
The thing is, is it not obvious to you as a, let's say, more recent convert or whatever you want to call it,
right.
Isn't it not obvious to you that the last liberals, so the Bobby Kennedys and the Tulsis and the you and me and Rogan, whoever that thing was, Elon, all these people, we were the last bulwark on the left before the crazy was there, and it was growing and growing and growing, and we all saw it, and identity politics and pronouns and blah blah blah, and everything's racist. And there was like a group of us, right? Like originally it was Jordan Peterson and Sam Harris, and there was like this group of us that were trying to do it. Then it kind of expanded, and then at some point, enough of us were like, all right, we're jumping ship, and we're gonna hang with the conservatives for whatever differences we have, and we're good. But we all love the country. We love freedom, and we love goodness and law and order and blah blah. And now there's just nobody left. So what happens? You end up basically in like a Bane Batman situation where the Scarecrow's doing fake trials and then they're sending people out onto the ice.
Pretty much.
That's not that far from it.
No.
Like you're going to end up in just places where there will be sheer insanity.
100%.
And then there will be people who remove themselves from the insanity. That's partly what the red-blue separation is, but it's, I think it's...
I want to jump ahead and tell you so many things.
All right,
go. God, this is so annoying.
Go.
Oh, okay,
Sorry,
because yes. Okay, I can't jump ahead. I can't jump ahead. I
Is
have
the
to
Scarecrow doing trials? If I nailed that one, that
people
would
are
be pretty
trying to
impressive.
prevent, and I'll give you an example coming up. Now, red states are trying to prevent people from blue states moving in and making zero connection to the way they voted with regard to the policy that they fled.
I'm very interested in where you're going with this.
Okay, so we'll get there. We'll get there. But the long and the short of it is, this is working, and it's kind of awesome. And I will say that I watched a video of a black conservative on YouTube, and he was saying that black on black crime is down in D.C. And he was giving Trump props about that because, of course, they were like, "Oh, he's everybody's so racist. The entire right is racist," and I thought that was really interesting because it's like. Any policing now of black communities is considered racist, usually by white liberals. And it was very interesting to see a black man saying, like, black on black crime is down, from the racist president.
As Trump said, even you more liberal people, you don't want to be raped.
Do you?
It's like that, right? Unless you kind of do. And I think in some sense they kind of do, actually, like in some weird, but all right, let's go.
Yeah,
okay.
I don't disagree with you. Okay, immigration stuff.
Okay.
So now this one is highly controversial, and I'll get to that in a minute, but let me give you the facts. So the State Department announces on August 28th that nationals of Malawi and Zambia applying for a B1, B2 business and tourist visa will be required to post up to $15,000 bond, deterring visa overstays. Okay, so you get the little, all right, so now just the rundowns. August 8th, the United States Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia just vacated Judge Bosberg's, I'm probably mispronouncing that, order, holding the Trump administration in criminal contempt for deporting illegals under the Illegal Alien Enemies Act.
So that's good.
That's
great.
We're going.
Okay.
Superman actor Dean Cain is going to join ICE.
What? I know Dean. We saw Dean at the airport not too long ago. Yeah. All right, that's fun.
Join ICE.
Okay,
I wonder if he'll have to, he's super MAGA. I don't know if he'll have to wear a mask. Okay, August 9th, Trump announces the judges can no longer block his policies nationwide. However...
Wait, Trump announces
the Supreme Court ruled on the whole, one federal judge can't do these nationwide. Okay. However... there's workarounds, obviously, by filing a class action lawsuit, and you're seeing that with the Dreamers. The left is already onto that and into it, and there you have it. There's always a loophole that both parties look for, and this is theirs. But he felt very excited about the victory at the time. All right, Marco Rubio has halted all visitor visas from Gaza. Now this is a bummer. Yeah, this one sucks. This is sad. California granted an illegal named Harjinder Singh a commercial driver's license, and he killed 3 people in Florida by performing an illegal U-turn on a Florida turnpike. Now, this guy doesn't speak English. He failed all English proficiency tests and road sign tests, and there's a video of this one.
The White House's rapid response social media account reposted a video of the accident with a statement criticizing the state of California for granting Singh a commercial driver's license.
The White House posting this. This individual is an illegal immigrant who was granted a commercial driver's license by the state of California, and now 3 innocent people are dead. A White House spokesperson adding, "This is a devastating tragedy made even worse by the fact that it was totally preventable. Illegal aliens that have no legal right to be in our country certainly should not be granted commercial driver's licenses."
I mean, how absolutely insane. Like, okay, so fine, the guy comes in, that's one thing. We already know, okay, so a gajillion people have done that. How do you give the guy a commercial driver's license as an illegal?
Here's what he did. He did what everyone's doing and tried to use the asylum loophole, right? So, by the way, who's running for their lives from India? Like, there's no genocide happening there. He's not. Nevertheless, there's no credible claim.
Obviously, you've never had day-old butter chicken. Right, grueling on the stomach. All right.
Listen, you make a good point. I didn't find that when I was researching this story, but possibly that's it. Nevertheless, he comes here illegally in 2018, does the I need asylum game. Of course, the case is yet to be adjudicated, and given Biden's policies, he was allowed to apply for a work permit. So while you wait, which can take like 7 to 10 years, exactly. So and the whole asylum system has been backed up because of this, and true refugees are being denied relocation and so on and so forth. So nevertheless, this guy knows the game, plays it, he gets the work permit, and then he essentially games the system with translators and somehow pretends he can speak English, because you do have to speak English to get the license in California. So in all fairness,
not to get into the country, just to get the commercial driver's license. Yeah.
Just to get the license. So he somehow games the system and pretends he can speak English to get this license. And in all fairness, I would love to say, oh, Gavin Newsom, and I cannot stand Newsom, but the reality is the guy did follow all the rules to get the work permit, and these are all our policy problems that need to change.
Sure, that's really not an excuse of Newsom, because he's still the chief executive of the state that's allowing a lot of stuff to happen. But okay,
listen, I totally agree with you. But the thing, you're supposed to speak English. He somehow gamed the whole. There was no rule that he didn't have to speak English or know how to drive. He just found a way to pretend like he did. So there's that, and he ends up killing a bunch of people. So in response to that, Marco Rubio froze the issuing of all worker visas for commercial truck drivers. And he states that foreign drivers operating tractor-trailer trucks are endangering Americans and undercutting the livelihoods of American truckers. And then I gave you the whole background on this guy. Now, here's one thing to note, and this is important. His initial application for a work permit was denied under the Trump administration in September 2020. But it was approved under the Biden administration in June 2021.
Well, good for Rubio. Look, you should not have illegals driving trucks cross country, and we have to deal with this. Either we deal with this now. This is the one opportunity we will have as a nation to deal with this stuff. Europe it's too late for most of Europe, certainly Western Europe, not Eastern Europe. So we either deal with this stuff right now or we don't. So good for Rubio. And by the way, truckers who are usually amazing. Do you know any truckers? Truckers are incredible people, actually. When I had a show on SiriusXM 15 years ago or something, most of the call-ins, the people that would call into the show were truckers, because they're just listening to stuff all day. I found them to be the most thoughtful, smart, interesting, because they just have time to think about the world and drive across the country. It's a really interesting psychological makeup of someone that's a trucker that spends their life basically, going like this all the time. They're going to be replaced by robots anyway, like so many other things. So the idea that you'd be, it's sort of like when they say, okay, bring in the illegals, someone has to pick our tomatoes. It's like, okay, the robots are going to pick our tomatoes soon, and then what are you going to do with those people? So good for Rubio.
The one thing I will tell you that I'm observing is a little bit of pushback on the right, actually, on this. And you're starting to see somebody know a good, hardworking, tax-paying person who's entered the country illegally, and as it's affecting people personally, you're starting to see them. Oh,
well, they're upset that their housekeeper's not going to be as cheap. I mean,
I'll give you an example.
That's the truth, actually. Yeah.
Okay, not that one. I actually hate that example because, of course, it's like a way to maintain a serfdom of this class that just stays your housekeeper forever because she's not here legally and has no upward mobility because of that, and that is gross. But not so much that. And, I was watching Officer Tatum. Do you ever watch him?
Yeah, about it.
And there was a lady that ran a restaurant, and she was here for 30 years. And he basically was saying, if we don't find a way for good people who want to do the right thing to get a path to citizenship, the other side's going to do it, and they're going to win those voters over. There's got to be a way to allow and facilitate good, hardworking people to contribute, to pay taxes, to take to give more than they take, which traditionally, when immigrants are allowed to come in legally, their kids do better in school, they start more small businesses, they have huge upward mobility, they pay more into the system than they take. But the way the laws have been set up, especially because of the Biden administration, it's you're seeing this.
Right. So
people killed on a turnpike in Florida.
Right. So that incident obviously is horrific. I'm guessing nobody really knows their names, right? We never know the names of the people that get killed. We only know the name of the bad people, which is also a cultural problem. As for that specific thing, I mean, look, we all have that. Hopefully, everyone has a little of that humanity in them, right? So this woman that's been here 30 years, that raised a family, and that basically did everything right. Like, is the goal of all of this to eliminate all of those people and upend so much? Most people, I don't think, really think that. The problem is, we've come back to this 10 times already, but the problem is the left has gone so crazy with everything, and they never give credit nor an inch to the right on anything that. There's the amount of people on the right that would naturally have sympathy to a lot of that are basically like, F it, we're just going to do what we got to do. And at the end of the day, you either have laws or you don't. So I don't know what the answer to that is. Most people in their hearts of hearts, are you trying to rip away the 36-year-old woman with one kid who's here working, that is legal, that loves America and everything else? Most people, the answer is no. But either a law exists or not. So I don't know exactly. And again, what was the country you mentioned before? If I went to Zimbabwe, if I went to Zimbabwe and I was there 10 extra years and they found me, they would kick me out and it would be within their rights. So that's why this is so complex. And again, it's why everything that the right, let's say, overreacts to is because the left is so insane. All they have to do is not be so insane all the time. But now there's nobody left.
More insane though. And you know how the right
there's nobody
thinks
left.
Like, woke is dead. I'm like, not really. It's actually alive and well.
Well, you haven't mentioned anything out of New York City yet with the election there, and I'm very curious about that because that's the recalibration of woke. So
I'm about to get there.
Okay.
Yeah, if Bernie was the architect, like this is what the. All right, we'll get there.
Okay.
Okay. So what else do I have for you here on this one? August 18th. Stats show that ICE is deporting 1,400 illegal immigrants a day. State Department revokes over 6,000 student visas over assault, support of terrorism and overstays. August 19th, Boston Mayor Michelle Wu opened her Boston press conference against Trump's crime crackdown with Singh. Okay, got a video. I don't count.
Everybody, hoo-hoo, yeah. Hoo-hoo, yeah.
Yeah, good. Keep going, Democrats. Keep going, Wu. Who had a Christmas? Remember, she's the mayor of Boston who had the Christmas party only for her colored employees. Okay. Keep going, lady.
Okay.
All right.
The United States immigrant population is now declining for the first time in 50 years.
Okay.
All right. August 23, the State Department to review 55 million visa holders for deportable violations. August 23. Okay. This one's wackadoodle dandy. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Woo! So Kilmar Abrego Garcia.
Yes,
it
love
looks
that
like he's
guy.
going to be deported to Uganda. In response to this.
To Uganda?
Yeah, here's why.
You got to be kidding me.
No, I'm not. Because he's here under his asylum claim, as you know.
Yeah.
But if you're afraid to go back to your country.
Oh. We send you to Uganda?
We still have a deportation order on good old Kilmar. So if we have a deal with a third-party country who's willing to take him, I mean, he's already got a deportation order. So if we can't send him back to El Salvador, right?
Wait, so we're sending a simple Maryland man?
Just
a regular Maryland
Now, I've
man?
got more for you on this one.
Okay.
People were so upset.
They love this guy. They don't care about...
They held a vigil for him, okay? Where Glenn Ivey, one of the congressmen in Maryland, showed up, and they sang, and they prayed, and they cried, and they wept. And for anybody who's been living under a rock that isn't familiar with Kilmar,
beat his wife with a boot.
Do we have a video of that? I mean, we really don't. Can I see?
I like videos of these people crying.
They cry and they sing.
Yeah, I love the crying and the singing.
And of course, the gays are out for Kilmar.
Just like we love him. He's a human trafficker.
Yes. Okay. So we have a video on that. We're pulling that up. But long story short, Kristi Noem, listen to this. as we were talking about the media earlier, omitting facts and lying and manipulating narratives, she gives a whole speech about Kilmar and bye-bye Kilmar, and this is what we know about Kilmar, and it's like soliciting nudes from minors and beating the crap out of his wife.
He beat his wife with a boot. He was a human trafficker.
Being a human the whole thing, right? And they have got informants that have come forward. And okay, long story short, CBS edits all of that out of her speech or talk or whatever, her press conference, and it looks like they're going to sue CBS. And CBS goes, well, we were just cutting it for time. So you cut out the part about
have we not been
him
through
being
this?
the scum of the earth. And the left is holding a vigil for Kilmar. This
May
is
the
the
divine bless you and keep you.
El Señor te bendiga y te guarde.
It's perfect.
Singing and shouting.
Here we are.
Singing and shouting with my mind.
I really forgot about some of this stuff, like that this stuff exists, like the fake rabbi, the queer morons, are these real people? Is this real life? Remember that video 20 years ago, the kid who had his tooth taken out? Daddy, is this real life? Like, that's what this is. These absurdly ridiculous buffoons. Send them all to Uganda.
Well, see, this is exactly what you're talking about, how
Yeah.
the left gets so crazy that the right is like, I can't anymore.
Yeah, okay.
Enough of this.
Like-
which is such a shame.
Yeah.
And I can't figure out, of all the people to hang your hat on, the guy's name is literally Kill. Maher. Kill it. First syllable of his name. Kill. The left is crazier than ever. All right, we got some stuff on social issues. This is about to get good.
Okay.
Brown University made a deal with Trump to regain federal funding, which includes paying $50 million and scrapping affirmative action.
Great. I mean, the Supreme Court already decided on that. Fantastic. Done. Oh, you're not going to choose people to come into your school based on race? Wow. Welcome to 2025. Okay.
Okay. A lot on that for you coming up.
Now that was a strange pause. Okay.
So with that said, remember how we
Yeah.
talked about how some of these red states are trying to blueproof?
Yeah, I like this.
So
Where are you
PragerU has created a test for teachers in Oklahoma that they have to take. It's called the America First test. So take a look. We got a little video for you on this one.
Love it.
All right, so for anybody who's got teachers in their family in Oklahoma, this is a story you'll probably want to listen to because there are teachers that are relocating there from progressive states who will now be evaluated on the America First agenda. Oklahoma as a state now is going to require new teachers pass an America First test to keep their license. They're going to have knowledge of the U.S. Constitution, an understanding of American exceptionalism, a grasp of fundamental biological differences between boys and girls. Perhaps for some, this sounds like common sense.
I mean, you have to love the fact that it's like, understand the Constitution.
What are the
That's
first
pretty
three,
good.
like the
and then
first
do you
sentence?
know the difference between boys and girls? I am completely for this. I love the fact that PragerU is involved with it. That is spectacular, because otherwise all of the recently mugged and murdered and raped liberals will come down, they will vote the wrong way, and they will destroy everything. That's why Florida is such a miracle, because the liberals who have come down here have become the craziest red people, and that's why Miami is now like the most Republican stronghold in the country, even though it was blue 10 years ago. So that is great. That is wonderful. I hope more of that. I'm telling DeSantis there should be an entry tax. We should still dig a moat and throw gators with lasers on their heads. I'm for all of those things.
You know what's interesting about that one, actually, is I had this fight on CNN, which I am getting to, of how immoral and evil alligator Alcatraz was. But I had a friend, I didn't know this at the time when I got into this whole argument, because I argued that the cages would be far more offensive, built by Obama. My friend's like, that's where like the National Guard used to stay, right? You think they just popped that up? He's like, it was good enough for our military, but we're really upset about people who are here illegally staying there, but we weren't worried when the guard was staying there.
We drove across Alligator Alley just a few days ago, and I should have stopped and taken the kids for a little tour.
A little visit.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay, so there you have the PragerU situation.
Oh, that's great. Okay.
And mostly it's for teachers coming from California.
Of course.
It's like, do you know that literally what makes a boy, what makes a girl, the chromosome conversation. Anyway,
genitals? Yeah.
Speaking of chromosomes,
Yes.
Nancy Pelosi is working hard to legalize sex changes for kids at the national level after Trump signed an order to protect children from chemical and surgical mutilation. I'm sure you're not surprised, but take a look.
How is your office responding to the pauses in gender affirming care here in California?
Well, that is something that I'm working for at the national level, and we have, how can I say it, are hoping that we can have gender affirming care for our trans kids, and that it's a sad thing for us.
Let me try to do this in the most I said to you at the top, I don't want to add, especially on the day I'm back, I don't want to add to all the hate and everything else. That's kind of demon level stuff.
I was going to say, can I?
Do you
mind if I add to it?
I kid you not. I showed the kids a couple times during the break. We watched Spidey and Friends. It's like a little animated thing. They're only 3. It's really for 6-year-olds, so David doesn't want me showing it to them. We mostly do Bluey. But I showed them Spider-Man, and they're both running around pretending to be, and then I got them a couple Spider-Man toys. So they're pretending to be Spider-Man and Green Goblin and Electro or whatever. And they'll be like, I'm Spider-Man, I'm Spider-Man. It's but it's a joke, and you can see the glimmer in their eyes. They know they're not Spider-Man. They know they're not Dr. Octopus. It's not to say whatever that percentage is and all the stuff. I hate making all the excuses. It's so boring. But for her to be we're going to try to nationalize that at this point, lady, go away.
But why
what
do
are
you
you
think?
doing, lady? Go play with your grandchildren. Go sit with your stocks and watch your money go up every day. Just go away already. Enough of these demon people. I don't know how to describe it. If the world corrects itself ever, if the earth ever heals, we will look back. As Jordan calls, these are butchers, what they have done to young children. That is not to say an adult can't dress however they want, and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But, evil. I can't believe, still, does she still think that's a winner? You think that's a winner, lady?
Here's my theory on this one. Obviously, Big Pharma is one of the biggest lobbies in Washington. It is a multi-billion-dollar business with a compound annual growth rate of roughly 9%. Ugh. So it's a huge industry. One drug alone, like Lupron, off-label, which is an off-label cancer drug, right, that they're giving to kids, is a multi-billion-dollar business. I think that's what this is about, if I had to guess, because the data is there. We have the Cass review by Dr. Hilary Cass, one of the top pediatricians out of the United Kingdom, who spent 4 years doing a systematic review of every single study involving gender-affirming care. You've got Schellenberger releasing the WPATH files showing all of the corruption involved in this industry. Europe pulls back after the Cass review and is like, okay, hold on. We got to rethink this whole gender-affirming situation on kids. We know it sterilizes them. We know it causes sexual dysfunction for the rest of their life. It affects their bone development, their brain development, their teeth literally crack in their skull. It's we know all of this. There's no way. This isn't I'm worried they're going to kill themselves. We already know, actually, they're more likely to kill themselves after being transitioned from the regret. Mm-hmm. So she's not an idiot. She might be a demon person, but she's not dumb, Dave.
It's so interesting because it's hard to imagine, it's actually hard to imagine someone selling out at that level for money, right? Everyone makes compromises in life, everyone whatever. But someone that would be I'm going to literally destroy the lives of, if it's as simple in some sense is what you're saying, right? That they're just looking at numbers, right? It's probably not much more complex than you're offering,
no,
right?
It's not.
Because it's so
we have
obviously,
the data. It's not, I promise you.
No,
have the data.
So I'm with you on that. But it would be hard to be in the mind, if we were sitting here truly with Nancy Pelosi and the camera wasn't going, is she really I really believe that these children, or is it really the numbers? And if it's the numbers, it's literally the cash.
Here'd be my question to you, though. If you're going to make a decision with consequences that severe, and you're in a position that holds that kind of power, would you not be responsible enough to do the research? So she's either a complete moron, or she's on the take. So you get picked.
So that's why
there's no middle of the road here. It's not a guessing game. There's no plausible deniability. The information exists. So you tell me.
I mean, I think that's why I quote him all the time, but about 10 years ago when I heard my friend Pete Boghossian, who you probably know, say that, when woke enters something, it destroys the entire institution, and that's what it's done to these people's brains. It's what Gad Saad calls the woke mind virus, that it actually then supersedes all the other logic and reason and everything else. And then so you end up because the best version of what we'd be saying about Pelosi is she's just misguided, but that just doesn't, there's just no way that computes. So you're right. It's either you're like corrupt, evil, insane, something, or you're just a sellout. And I guess the easier answer is probably
there's just no way she could be. There's no plausible deniability anymore because the research exists, and you have a responsibility to do it. We're talking about kids.
It's also
not adults.
It's also what's so dangerous about what they've done, because it's like when you call someone racist that's not racist, you do it for so long that when you wake up and then you're like, oh, maybe that person isn't racist. Well, now you're going to be called a racist. So they're all in on it. They're all in on it together, and all right.
Okay, I got a question for you.
Yes.
What is more likely?
Uh-oh.
The New York Times gave me a fair shake in my op-ed, or CNN launched a national campaign to brand me as a racist?
Oh, you made some news. That's nice. Well, I would say it's definitely possible the New York Times gave you a fair shake in an op-ed because they occasionally do that. They go up. What the New York Times always does is they lead with insanity, and then they suddenly throw something in that's sane, so that the few people that have neurons firing stay subscribed, something like that. Okay. So that strikes me as very much what the New York Times might do.
Interesting.
And the other one was, did CNN launch a campaign to destroy you? That seems likely. So.
Oh my God, you got it! I'm so
that seems. I've been around the game a while, sister. Come on. What happened?
So this is important.
Yes.
Because it ties back to this whole thing with Trump wanting to pull federal funding from the Smithsonian museums because of certain exhibits that we're going to get into in just a moment, but he wants to revisit some of these installations, some of these exhibits within the Smithsonian museums, and of course, the left has gone bananas on this, right? So I reach out, I'm going on CNN, and I must admit that I was warned by you, and I was warned
we should play that clip.
That was in
July.
By Megyn Kelly as well.
Yeah.
And, it's like, but it is I don't regret it.
Yep.
It's a conversation that we need to have. CNN might obviously not be the forum where you're allowed to have it. I do think it's imperative that we bridge ideologies, we talk to the other side. That's clearly not the point of Phillip's show on CNN.
Yeah.
So nevertheless, this is coming up, right? So I get the list of topics, and one is the Smithsonian. And I know exactly where they're going to go, and I've just gotten back from Africa, by the way, Dee, so I'm out of the loop, like you are.
Right.
And I'm like, oh my God, I got to jump back into this. I don't really know anything about this. And I reach out to the comms team at the White House. And I say, hey, this is going to come up. Can you tell me, what is the goal here? Because it is the Smithsonian, and I'm thinking, why are we revisiting? I know nothing about what's in there, nothing about what's controversial. And they send me 50 pages, okay?
And it's all just woke exhibitions and not, that seems.
Banana pants. So it's stuff like a white culture poster that has subsequently been removed, where it talks about how we're inherently aggressive.
I remember that one.
And we've got to win at all
costs.
A
while back.
It's stuff comparing George Floyd and Che Guevara to Jesus. It's stuff where they talk about Cuban immigration to the United States, and they completely neglect to mention Castro and just make it about how, the United States government backed Batista for their own financial gain, and because of, this white government did this, and that's why Cubans left, and that's what brought on the Cuban Revolution. Don't even mention Castro one time. And then they get into gender testing in sports.
Just all the stuff.
Okay, right.
Yeah, got it. All of it.
So, okay. So now this comes up, and I know in my mind that they're going to try to pretend like it is about erasing slavery. And I know that there is not one installation that the administration has taken umbrage with that is about slavery. Now, Trump has subsequently gone on to say, look, it's all about like bad guys, white bad guys and slavery, but why don't we have some good stuff in there too? So that kind of came out later. So here's what happened. So take a look.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Gone into the Smithsonian, and he's effectively now has some random person deciding what is appropriate for the Smithsonian to teach in terms of American history, things that don't offend parts of the MAGA base, right? So we're now literally reviewing parts of American history and parts of American culture to make sure it comports with dear leader and what the MAGA
Can we
organization
address
wants.
some of those things that are in there? Because have you looked at some of the things that are being reviewed?
Yeah, slavery was a bad thing that was to talk about.
Okay.
Like, forgive me
He's
for
not
saying that.
whitewashing slavery. So
he's not?
He's not. No.
Okay.
He's not. And you cannot tie imperialism and racism and slavery to just one race, which is pretty much what every single exhibit does.
Well, you have a lot of stuff in front
Yeah,
of
I
you.
do,
What
because
exactly
because here's the
are
thing.
you talking about?
Okay, I'll give you an example.
Yeah, please.
There's one called Change Your Game, right? This has been an installation there. Is gender testing fair in sports? Does that, and then it goes on to talk about how it's complex to do gender testing in sports. It's not complex. It's basic science. That's untrue. It's XX chromosome, XY chromosome. That's sports. Is it fair to have biological men competing against biological women in sports? No. But why is this in the Smithsonian? So it's been completely captured.
First of all, I don't.
And
think
it's totally partisan.
We don't. First of all, we don't have time to litigate
Of
all of this.
course we don't, because then you're going to lose
I do,
the argument.
No,
and
no.
everything is racialized, just like you're trying to do to me now. So this took a bit of a turn.
Yeah,
so here's what happened.
Yeah.
So we're supposed to be in the middle of a conversation about the Smithsonian. So
Okay.
Julie Rodzinski is so smug.
Yeah.
And I'm about to nail her because I know she's making the whole thing up
Right,
about
she doesn't-
slavery.
yeah.
Because she has no idea what's even in there, right? So I'm like, no, he's not, with extreme confidence. And I'm like, by the way, sidebar, this has been going on for thousands of years.
Yeah.
Like, stop demonizing just one race, because nothing good is going to come out of that, right? So I'm about to list all the things you and I just talked about, and all of a sudden, Abby, Phillip, and Richie Torres go, I can't believe you're trying to relitigate slavery in America. I go, I'm not. I just told you slavery's been around for thousands of years. And we continue. They're like, oh, well, this is a system of oppression. And now we're having two separate conversations, right? And I'm like, okay, am I talking about the Smithsonian stuff? And like, there's nothing about slavery in the Smithsonian? Or I'm sorry, the installations
Yeah.
he's taking umbrage with? And by the way, let's talk about slavery. So then I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm ready to take this on, because I come back from Africa and there's nothing but really negative racial stories in the news.
Mm-hmm.
And it's bad. It's like a white woman who had a 5-year-old black kid go through her bag and she calls him the N-word, and then raises like almost $1 million online, like in defense of herself and to try to relocate. And then simultaneously you've got the thing in the movie theater where arguably children of an unknown race beat up
the
this
Harvard
professor.
thing that you meant, yeah.
Then you've got like two white people who get the crap beat out of them by a black mob. And
That happened right before I went off.
Okay,
If
so
you're
you
the
saw that.
Cincinnati
Okay, that
Music
was
Festival or something. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So, for me personally, and this is a bit of a sidebar, not August news, but I've never in my lifetime seen racial issues this bad. And I think it is...
Yeah, because we're children of the 80s and we put all this shit down and these motherfuckers are trying to... Oh, that was my first F-bomb. There you go. We're back, baby.
It's bad,
Yeah,
dude.
they're trying to rehash...
It's working.
And bring back all of the stuff
It is
that
working.
Yeah.
So at this point now, I'm about to take it on, right? And I was like, okay. Do you realize that less than 2%, and this is from the 1860 census, right? Less than 2% of white Americans owned slaves. And I'm about to continue on to say, it ends up going in multiple directions. And then I'm like, this has been going on for thousands of years. And if we were to continue litigating, because you know the argument is, well, the entire South built their economy on it. It's like, and despite that, the North banned it.
Yeah.
Like, and well, people fought and died to maintain it. And yes, we have entire cemeteries of people who fought and died to end it. It isn't about erasing slavery, but where is the part about the good guys? Why is that always left out of the equation? Why are you not teaching young white kids about the good white guys that died to end this evil? So, long story short, Abby, Phillip, and CNN launched a multi-week campaign in numerous episodes of her show to brand me as a racist. She then goes on Kara Swisher's podcast and lies. And she's like, I don't know, we were just having a conversation about the arts, and she just brings this up, and I had to educate her and my whole show know about the history of slavery. And she goes on to talk about how I defended white people in a slavery debate.
Jesus.
And relitigate slavery in America, despite the fact that I said I'm not, twice on her show, and that this has been going on for thousands of years.
And this is all going bananas viral and all this.
All going bananas viral, of course. Like, everybody on the right comes out, you know, and like, thank God you said something. It's about time we said something. Everybody on the left, oh, she's a racist, and somebody should call DCFS because she has a black kid. And I'm like, this is insane. And D, it's so bad right now in the country, and I've got some other clips for you of it, but it's...
Let me just give you one take on Abby Phillips. I don't know if you've heard me talk about her before, but I don't know, I must have said this to you because I was warning you about going on her show.
You did warn me.
She is, without question, the dumbest person on television. There is nothing behind her eyes. She's an idiot who can read off a teleprompter somewhat appropriately, and then then she looks like a deer in headlights the entire time until either someone tells her to say something or she throws a commercial. We started with cogs in the system. She is a cog in the system. They gave her that chair, and they will take away that chair as quickly as they gave it to her one day, and then she'll sue them for being racist. That's how this game and the script is written.
Prior to this, on the episode of her show that I did about the kids at the marijuana farm, do you know she flat out lied on her show and said that it was legal for minors
I
to
remember that.
work at a marijuana
That was a few
farm?
days, yeah.
I don't think so. Yes, it is. Of course, it's absolutely not. Do you think they issued a correction?
We covered that a few days before I left, and I paused the show. I said to one of the guys, could we just Google that? I'm pretty sure that illegal kids can't work it.
They are not allowed to work at a marijuana farm, but she drilled down on it. She absolutely insisted. She contradicted and corrected me despite the fact that I was right. Did no correction or apology after the fact, being like, we were wrong. Actually, minors are not allowed to work at a marijuana farm.
Well, good for you going viral.
Yeah,
Can I, for one second, try the meta version of what's happening here, which is that you represent you're like sort of, in this case, you're like the avatar for the new media. And because we're still in this fight between old and new media, and it doesn't mean that all the new media is good either, but because these things are now so disconnected, what they try to do is they try to then bring on new media people into old media formats, and it doesn't work, right? Because you have very scripted people with things in their ears, being told what to say, reading things, and then you have people like you who are thoughtful and interesting and show nuance, who know what they're doing. So it's as if the ingredient doesn't work with the overall what you're trying to bake,
it seems
basically.
Pretty deliberate, though, Dave. Like, she
it is deliberate.
out lied multiple
Of course
times.
it's deliberate.
Like the conversation of we were just having a talk about the arts. Julie Rodzinski just called parts of the MAGA base racist, made the dear leader like Nazi Kim Jong-un reference to Trump, and then said slavery's bad, we should talk about it. Like a conversation about the arts, and then claimed that I brought it up and lied numerous times about it. This is the stuff we were talking about earlier with how do you handle these things with the legacy media. I'm working through that now, but I guarantee I'm not letting everybody get away with it. That's all I'm going to say right now.
As John McClane said in Die Hard, welcome to the party, pal.
I guess so.
No.
But it's a fight I'm here for sure. And the last thing I want to say about this, truthfully, is that as a mom to a white boy and a black girl, this stuff distresses me.
Yeah.
I would say, honestly, more than anything going on in our culture right now. And I see young boys, my son's age, leaning towards things that are very far right. And, the Tate brothers, like Nick Fuentes, that's deeply alarming to me. And the more you demonize these young boys, not my son, but I hear about it, he tells me about it, the more you demonize these kids, the more you're going to breed a whole new generation of racists.
Do you remember, we've shown it on my show many times, there's a clip of Jordan on Rogan, Jordan Peterson obviously on Rogan from probably about 8 years ago. And it's at the height of, it was almost before we called it woke, so it's like early woke, identity politics. And Jordan says, maybe we'll play it on my show tomorrow, Jordan says, wait till you see what the reaction will be
Yes.
of young white boys
It's
who will
bad.
grow up in this situation.
It's so true.
And again, so everything, whatever people think the excesses are of the right, it's because the left never knows when they've gone too far. They have created the condition, they own the culture, and then they created the conditions to then tell young, I can only imagine being the parent, the mother of a 14-year-old, how old did you say your son is?
He's
Sorry.
13.
He's 13, a
My
13-year-old
daughter's
kid who's
15.
grown up in a culture that said you're bad because of your skin color, you're bad because of your sexuality, your gender, all these things.
These boys are leaning, Dave, not, again, like Phoenix has, my son Phoenix, your Phoenix, has like a
My son
healthy
Phoenix over here, yeah.
sense of the center, and he leans into the Sean Ryans and the Joe Rogans of the world, which is great. But the friends, some of them are leaning very far right, and it's very concerning. And you're seeing high schools in the middle of the country take back the name of Robert E. Lee and bring back the Confederate flag. And I don't think it's because these kids are like Klan members. I think it's just a giant FU to this whole kind of demonization of these young white boys. And simultaneously, you know, I have a black daughter being raised by all white people. It wasn't on purpose. Haiti was a country that was open while I was adopting internationally. Long story short, like, why do I want my daughter to think all white people are bad? I absolutely do not want her to think that. In fact, I bought her on this one trip, and then we'll get back to the news. We were in New Orleans one summer when she was probably 8. And I bought her the diary of a Union soldier from one of those antique stores from 1861. It's the coolest thing in the world, Dave. It's like handwritten. And I always wanted her to know, like, as much darkness as there is in the world, there are still good guys. And at the end of the day, like, I will stand by it. Like, there were good guys that fought to end this, and I want my daughter to know not all white people are bad. In fact, the vast majority are good.
Well,
so that's the latest.
You are controversial.
Oh, aren't I?
Well, congratulations, getting in the fray and having Abby go after you and the rest of it.
So there we go. Okay, so now, moving on.
Yes.
Okay, this is good news. Trump economy. The Canadian Prime Minister, Mark Carney, announces that Canada will be dropping their retaliatory tariffs against the U.S. and removing tariffs on U.S. goods covered by existing trade deals. Got a video on it. Let's take a look.
So let's be absolutely clear. Canada currently has the best trade deal with the United States. And while it's different from what we had before, it is still better than that of any other country. So as we work to address outstanding trade issues with the United States, it's important, it's vital. We do everything we can to preserve this unique advantage for Canadian workers, Canadian businesses. In this context, and consistent with Canada's commitment to CUSMA, I'm announcing today that the Canadian government will now match the United States by removing all of Canada's tariffs on U.S. goods specifically covered under CUSMA.
Oh, progress.
Yeah, surprise, surprise. Again, I mean, that's just one of the ones that I was like, yes, David Sachs, I like the line. We have to just see where all the deals land. And yes, congratulations. Now you can buy cheese in Canada from America without a 30% tariff so that nobody was buying American cheese. And it seems like he's trying to save face a little bit. Okay, good.
Right,
Yes,
he's
good.
trying to soften it, get back into negotiations.
Great. Okay.
Okay, we got a lot to cover on this one, so I got to be a bit more rapid fire here.
Okay.
So where did we leave you on this whole redistricting chaos?
I think literally the last day I was leaving, there was just like a bunch of stories breaking on, was it Texas and California?
Yes, so the Democrats left, and Beto O'Rourke tried to fund their ability to leave, and now Ken Paxton is investigating that as though it's like bribery, and they're trying to shut down the organization that they've used to fund these Democrats' ability to leave. Long story short, they get the 5 seats. Okay? So that's where that's at.
Wait, the Republicans got the 5 seats in Texas. Okay.
Okay, they got the 5 seats. In response to that, hold on, this is important. A Texas state rep, Jolanda Jones, who fled the state to Illinois. So she fled Texas to Illinois to try to avoid their ability to convene everybody and get the seats. She compared it to the Holocaust.
Of course.
She compared the redistricting to the Holocaust. So, I mean, just since we're talking...
the concentration camps were just a mild redistricting.
Okay. Then J.D. Vance says if we did the census anew right now, we'd have 10 additional Republican seats and 9 fewer Democratic seats. There's a video, but that's basically the gist of it. Okay, now here's where it gets crazy. Our favorite person, Gavin Newsom, steps up to the plate. And long story short, he puts forward this thing called Prop 50 because California has this whole independent commission against gerrymandering particularly, right? So he says, I want to put forward this Proposition 50 to take them out of the equation, and I'm going to respond to what Texas is doing, and I want 7% representation for Republicans. Now we have 17, I think, percent, and I think 38% of Californians are Republicans.
Okay.
So this has gone bananas. California already has 43 Democratic seats, only 9 Republican seats. He's on fire with this, and he's like daring Trump to come after him. It doesn't look like the Republicans are going to be able to block this Proposition 50 vote in November. So now they're in a war over who's gerrymandering worse. I kind of hate this across the board.
My general take would be both sides are going to do it.
Yep.
I obviously I can't speak to the specifics of things that happened when I was gone, but like both sides are going to do it, and would I put and he has a super majority, and it's just is what it is, and let's not belabor the point of California.
Yeah, so that's
neither
good.
one of us live there anymore.
Well, they're all now going to do it, so you kind of nailed it. Missouri's going to redraw their map, and it just goes on and on and on and on and on. Okay, now then, 2028 buzz. Trump tells Peter Doocy that the heir to MAGA may be J.D. Vance, maybe Marco Rubio. Maybe they'll come together. Take a look.
You said this morning that you probably won't be running for a third term. This weekend, Secretary of State Rubio said that he thought J.D. Vance would be a great nominee. You could clear the entire Republican field right now. Do you agree that the heir apparent to MAGA is J.D. Vance?
Well, I think most likely, in all fairness, he's the vice president. I think Marco is also somebody that maybe would get together with J.D. in some form.
It's a great answer. It's honest. It's true.
Yeah.
And if it was Rubio and J.D. or J.D. and Rubio, it would be J.D. and Rubio because I don't think they would switch it the other way, but it would be great.
I'd like to see Tulsi in that mix.
No, of course I'd love to see Tulsi.
But I mean, there's a lot of good choices
but maybe
on that side,
Tulsi goes to Secretary of State at that point. Like, you just never know. It's a little early to talk about any of that. We could punt that one, but yes, they have a great bench and good people who are competent and could lead the country again. That would be perfectly lovely.
So here's something strange. Gavin Newsom has become Donald Trump. You cannot make this up. He's tweeting like him. He's making merch like him. He's got a couple of kids that he hired, and they just copy verbatim, literally every single thing that Trump does. It's super duper bizarre. And for example, Gavin Newsom copies his MAGA hat and says, "New merch coming soon. You're welcome, Patriots." Like all caps. He's been trolling people. Newsom was right about everything.
What? He's never been right about anything. Yeah, I get it.
The thing is, he's trying to become Donald Trump.
But you can't fake becoming Trump. That's the thing. You can't fake it.
That's
so
what's
keep going, man. Keep going.
Is that there's nothing authentic about it. It's all performative theater. Meanwhile, not one home on PCH has been rebuilt.
Yep.
Corolla posts these updates, and it's like, not one home, not one construction crew. And this guy is, Anyway, him and Trump have been doing their usual kind of pissing match and shenanigans, and Newsom held a reckoning day, Independence Day, about the gerrymandering news conference.
God.
And then Trump had an ICE raid there, and kind of same old.
All right, enough with Newsom.
Kind of the same shit.
Yeah, okay.
All right,
Newsom.
now, this is great.
Okay.
DeSantis announced Hulk Hogan Appreciation Day.
Love it. Love it. When is it?
Okay, take a look.
Today in the state of Florida, I've declared to be Hulk Hogan Appreciation Day. And in recognition of somebody who was obviously a major figure for many, many decades, particularly for people in my generation, was a big guy, and was right there in the Tampa Bay area for many, many decades. So all I'll tell you is make sure on this day that you're training, saying your prayers, and eating your vitamins, brother, because he would have wanted you to do that.
I love that. I know it's a bit of a throwaway, but I love it. One of the, probably like you, I've met like so many people that I would have ever wanted to meet, or like heroes. And I met Hogan once, got to spend like an hour with him, just me, him, and Jimmy Hart, who was his manager, like wrestling manager. And we got like an hour together, and he gave me a big headlock. I have a picture of it.
That's
awesome. He was just a great human being. And to see the way I was at MSG at the rally, the Trump rally that he came out, and that was to me the most, it's awesome. He passed right before I went off the grid. That's a sad one. Yeah.
Even better news. DeSantis is looking to end property tax.
So is it going to happen? I mean, they've been fighting for it. We have this ridiculous.
He's going to do it, and there's a video. Why you want to? Should we toss it up?
We can probably let it go.
Long story short is he's basically worried about people who've retired that can no longer afford it.
Yeah.
And he goes on to say, like, they just continue to pay this every single year, and it's like, it's crippling for them.
You end up punishing people that live here. Meanwhile, we have the #1 record tourism for the last 5 years or something every year in Florida. So if you need the revenue, which it's not even clear that we need the revenue because we're such a well-run state, but if you need the revenue, you could charge a little more in taxes for all the tourism stuff, offsetting the property tax, because if you allow people to, you buy your home, you don't have to pay taxes on the value of that land forever, then they can reinvest more in their home. I hope he can get it through. It's been a big fight.
Amazing if he did. Because I'm impressed. I mean, he's actually focused on running his state. Isn't that crazy?
It's nuts.
I know, no merch, just trying to run the state.
That's where I live.
So this one's, I gotta show you this because this is so friggin' bananas. So Mark Carney went to a Vancouver Pride Parade.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything to say?
Where was Trudeau?
I don't know, really.
Was that Trudeau? Maybe I need to see the picture again. Did he shave his head? I've been out of the game for a while. Like, it's all just so ridiculous, dude. Like, for the naked guy, it's like, dude, go live your life, but you're not helping. You want gay people to be treated okay and fairly and all those things. You people are actually doing the reverse of all of that, and the pandering ridiculous. Like, who in Carney's circle was like, hug that guy? Put that up again for a sec. Like,
I know.
Now our YouTube channel is going to get deleted the day I come back. Nobody wants to see that. Who did that guy actually think? Boy, people want to see that.
Do you remember the picture of Biden on the White House lawn with the transgender individual with the boobs sticking out and everything? Yeah. I don't. This to me obviously bothers me for the same reason it bothers you, and it's like you wouldn't want this from anybody. No adult should be naked on the street in front of kids. I don't care what your orientation is. It's inappropriate and it's counterintuitive. And here's a perfect example of how, in my opinion. So Nancy Mace launched a bid for governor of South Carolina, and Marsha Blackburn announced she's going to run for governor in Tennessee. And yeah, there's no video on this. It's just like, what I don't love is, Marsha Blackburn's not for gay marriage. And
is she not? I've interviewed her a couple times.
I don't think so.
I would bring it up with her next time.
I think she's not, and pretty aggressively not.
Look, anyone can have whatever their own religious and personal philosophical belief is. I don't think that should supersede another citizen's right to engage in a relationship that they wish to engage in. And I think the ship has really sailed on that. So I wouldn't.
I hope so.
I wouldn't really. Well, certainly at a governor level, the governor has no ability to do anything about that. But
here's the concern. I mean, and I'll try to be quick. Is like I think you saw there was some worry they were going to try to bring up gay marriage in the Supreme Court. It turned out to be a nothing burger. It had to do, long story short, the Supreme Court didn't agree to hear this case yet. It had to do with this woman's freedom of speech, I think, and religion, not necessarily relitigating gay marriage, but the concern is that it could come up. And then, what if it gets kicked back to the states? And if it does, what kind of influence?
Look, at the end of the day, we have equal protection under the law that's guaranteed in the Constitution of the United States. Marriage, in and of itself, is not in the Constitution. So if you're going to say that straight people can get married, then gay people can get married. But
all right, we'll keep it rolling. All right, here we go. August 11th, it was revealed that a former Democrat intelligence committee staffer turned whistleblower, told the FBI in 2017 that Adam Schiff personally approved leaking classified information on Russia to smear President Trump. We probably should have had this earlier,
throw
but
it
there
away,
you go.
okay.
All right. Oh, we're
Surprise,
jumping forward
surprise.
to, okay, we got the Beta or work stuff, blah, 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 with the Texas, Oh, this is important. You should know this. President Trump took a victory lap over the corrupt New York Attorney General, Letitia James. The whole foreign amendment, because it was excessive and punitive.
Yeah.
So that's out.
Good.
You want to see Joy Reid talking about how white people are scumbags? Or you want
No.
to skip it? Yeah.
I want new things.
Oh.
That's old.
Okay. So immediately that
All right,
happened.
Joy Reid called somebody racist.
Yeah,
Okay,
all of us. We're
Yeah.
all racist.
Yeah.
All of our ancestors.
I like this. Let's see if you can just keep shuffling
Okay.
them out now, unless something really moves you.
Okay, Omar Fateh.
Oh yeah, this
So
is the
this guy,
Somali pirate who wants to be
the Somali pirate,
yeah.
no more. So the Dems actually pulled out of their support for this guy because they think that the race was rigged, citing missing ballots and insecure election machines. So here's Minneapolis Mayor Frey. Take a
So
look.
they're bringing Frey back?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
It's not a scenario where you need to take my word for it.
It's actually insane.
As the state party said, and as the investigation showed, this was a process that was rife with errors and misconduct. Hundreds of people didn't get counted out of hundreds of votes in total. There was an entire ward where nobody knew who the ward delegates were. The whole thing went missing. I don't know. We still don't know exactly how they became to the determination based on that ward. The data itself was given to the other campaigns and they were allowed to edit it.
I mean, okay, fine, the Somali pirate's gone, but they have this guy still, who's just like a pathetic, progressive, pandering putz. So, okay, good luck.
He gets worse in a minute.
Good luck with all
but
that.
real quick, because I can't remember if it's somewhere on the ground here, Mamdani continues to grow in New York. And
it's happening.
Warren basically came out, Senator Warren was like, this is the future of the party. So
Of course. You guys have, there's no bulwark against it. And I'm telling you, the thing that I'm afraid of with him, the thing that I am afraid of is he's going to win and they're going to fake it for a year. Socialism can be faked for a year, meaning that because the Democrats turn on the violence when they want, they shut it off, so they'll stop with the craziness. The government-run grocery stores, they'll work for about a year until the workers start realizing they have no skin in the game, and then the system fails. But the question is, does it scale at that year? Meaning, do people are looking at it like in that year and then being like, okay, bring it to Minneapolis, bring it to San Francisco, Los Angeles, and everything.
I mean, we've done this before. We did it in the 70s, and it was an abject failure. So, and I'm sure you caught the video of him saying, like, he wants to seize production, and he doesn't believe in prisons, and there's no need for personal property. You didn't miss any of those comments,
Didn't miss any
you?
of that. I'm still curious, though. He's marching out there with the queers and the LGBTQs and everything, and for some reason, I'm guessing that his mosque does not do gay marriages, and I just wish someone would ask him a question about why he would attend such a bigoted religious institution, but nobody wants to bring that up. If only there was a journalist in America.
I don't disagree with you. There is a video of him needing a spot to do 2 reps of the bench press, I guess trying to imply that he's a soy boy, but the long story short is...
Let's go, let's go,
Yeah,
let's
here
go,
it is.
let's go, let's go. Yeah! Let me get one more, let me get 3! Let me get 3! Let me get 3! Yeah!
All I'm going to tell you is
You really could barf in your government-run shoes, couldn't you? Yeah, he's going to win.
He's going to win, I think, D.
Goodbye, New York.
Sad news there. So, John Bolton. Okay, now you don't know anything about this one, right?
Did he shave his mustache?
No. Okay, so this one's been pretty controversial. Federal agents raided his home in Maryland. And of course, for anybody who's not aware, he's Trump's former national security advisor. Take a look.
We're back with the Fox News Alert. We're just learning the FBI agents have raided the Maryland home of former Trump national security advisor John Bolton. It happened at 7 a.m. this morning.
Shortly after the raid began, FBI Director Kash Patel posting on X, quote, "No one is above the law. FBI agents on a mission."
It is intriguing here because these are long-standing allegations that the book indicated or referenced classified material that he may have acquired when he was in the administration. We're not clear as to what that is, but it would suggest that it could be national defense information.
Okay, so here's basically what happened.
He wrote a book, and
the room where it happened, right, and it had to do with the 17 months he spent in the job for Trump. Long story short, the accusation is that he has classified documents that he sent on a private server to his wife and his daughter. Initially, I guess the Trump administration in 2020 had tried to block this. The Biden administration continued the investigation and then I guess put it to bed. Nobody really knows why they put it to bed. Kash Patel has just revived it. Trump says he knows nothing about it. The scandals are as follows. Are we weaponizing, the same
it's all
old,
the
same
usual
old.
stuff.
Are we weaponizing it, blah, 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 blah.
I mean, I kind of remember when the book came out and people were saying, was he allowed to write some of this stuff? But it all goes through, I'm sure it was published by Penguin or somebody huge, or Simon & Schuster, it all goes through layers of security. So
he said he had permission from this woman and from the archive who's in charge of classification. It's a bit muddy, to be honest. We really don't know what's going on, but that's the big question is, this is unprecedented, but how is it unprecedented? Didn't we just do this in Mar-a-Lago?
Right, it feels like the same
What's
thing.
unprecedented?
Also, I know plenty of people who were in former government positions who've written books, and I've talked to several of them about it. You have to go through a process to figure out what's allowed. All right.
So the concern is obviously Trump's vindictive. He's going after old enemies. He's weaponizing the FBI and the DOJ. The usual game, right? It is weird. I don't know yet. I guess we're gonna find out if something happened, but that's the concern.
Well, as we've sort of had a theme here, I mean, no one pays the price for anything, so Bolton will be fine too. And
right. So that's kind of it there. FBI raided the home of blah blah blah. John Bolton. Right. Yeah, you got it. Okay. Right. 276, in case you wanted to know that. Here it is. Bolton claimed that Knight gave him verbal approval to publish the book, even while a supplemental review was going on. So I guess this is the woman who's in charge of these classifications.
Nothing's going to come of this. Nothing's coming of this.
Nothing. Okay. This sucks. This is sad, and it's making really big news. So an individual who I guess is allegedly transgender, named Robin Westman, shot and killed 2 kids and injured 17 others at a Catholic school during a mass in Minneapolis. Now new evidence is emerging that this suspected shooter appeared to be psychotic. Manic, 22-year-old young man, possibly trans, who left an 11-minute manifesto video on YouTube just hours before the shooting. The suspect wrote notes on the weapons he used, including "Kill Trump now," "McVeigh," "Where is your God?" "Burn Israel," "6 million was not enough." He had a human-shaped target with Jesus' face attached to it. Now, this, of course, has begotten crazy culture wars over the transgender people. Right, so that whole thing has begun, and then simultaneously, you've got Frey, who... Take a look at this and then make your own opinion, okay? We'll discuss it. I don't even want to set it up yet. Can you guys toss up that video of Frey for me, please?
And don't just say this is about thoughts and prayers right now. These kids were literally praying. It was the first week of school. They were in a church. These are kids that should be learning with their friends. They should be playing on the playground. They should be able to go to school or church in peace without the fear or risk of violence, and their parents should have the same kind of assurance.
So it wasn't just him. Newsom put out a tweet saying, quote, "These children were literally praying as they got shot at." Now, as I'm sure you can imagine, the Michael Knowles, the Charlie Kirks, this is an attack on prayer, this is an attack on Christians, this is evil. I certainly don't understand why those comments were made.
Well, it was an attack on a Catholic school. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So so there's some element of that, but that's secondary to what likely was massive psychological distress, or whatever you want to call it, that this boy, I guess, who thought he was a girl, was like, how about we talk about psychological health and drugs and all of the other stuff.
Or getting security guards at the schools, because, of course, it's going to be like, oh my God, the gun laws. How about you put armed guards at the schools?
Right, which, look, that's a slippery slope too, because then we
You
just
think
are,
so?
well, it's a slippery slope in that we then are like sort of training our children to just be around. I'm more for
They had
that.
one at
No,
my
I know.
daughter's school here.
No, I know.
I loved it,
I know.
Dave.
Without,
It was
no,
awesome.
but without fully like litigating that. Like there is
Yeah.
something about children having to then be around armed 5-year-olds walking into schools and seeing, in effect, soldiers at the doors. There's some conversation around that. But all of these things always boil down to mental health and everything else. The video that probably got me the craziest in like the last 5 years. Do you remember that Texas Uvalde shooting where it's hard to remember any of these at this point, but somebody went in and shot like 17 kindergartners, basically all elementary school kids, and then Joy Reid went on TV that night and said, this is not a mental health issue, it's a gun issue. And it's like, it's so crazy. That's a mental health issue to say that. Because if you go in and kill innocent children, you obviously have a mental health issue. You don't need a doctor to diagnose you with that. So all of these things are much more about mental health and likely prescription drugs. And the other problem is that with the manifesto stuff and putting all that stuff out, it incentivizes people to put out crazy things, right? It doesn't mean that he believed any of that stuff. It just, they put out, there's a game, there's like a butterfly effect in a game that's being played. I'm going to put up a YouTube video, I'm going to write these crazy things. All of that fits into the psychological screwiness of everything. So, but I can see this probably has all of the cultural markings.
Oh,
of
yeah.
It has
And it's
little
like
of
a broad attack on the trans community, which is counterproductive instead of it like, okay, this guy's mentally insane, right? And then it's like, oh, God, they're attacking, the Christianity is under assault, which, I mean, honestly, it kind of is.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's what was happening here, but who knows? Why say it? Why not address policy? Why would you go after... These kids were literally playing. What are you trying to say? That prayer is in effect? Like people were really pissed about it. It was a dumb thing to say.
People who don't believe in prayer suddenly like making it about prayer is kind of gross.
That's the right.
Yeah.
That did not go over well, which is so bizarre.
It's mental health. It's mental health.
Hard right turn for you.
Okay. Okay, you're running out of paper.
If you had to guess, what object has been repeatedly thrown on a WNBA court?
Oh, dildo. It's got to be a
How
dildo.
did you know that?
Well, because a few days before I left, the green dildo. Wait, the green dildo? Whoa, dildos? More dildos?
Yeah, lots more dildos. I mean,
Cool.
I have 3 videos. Do we do 3 videos
I
of
want
a
to see
dildo?
those. Yeah.
Is there
Let's
just
see
like...
the dildo.
Got a whistle away from the basketball.
It's a green dildo again. So there's something interesting about the green dildo. Is this going to be a green dildo?
I think there's a purple one.
This is
Oh, that's green.
green
There's
again.
definitely a purple one in there.
She just kicked the crap out of that dildo.
Yeah.
And patted the other girl on the ass.
The third
Another
quarter.
dildo.
This guy had 3 quick turnovers.
Wait,
Is that purple?
Purple. Wow. Well,
I've never seen those in neon colors. I guess I don't. Yeah, I usually thought it was like skin tones.
yeah.
But
well, you know.
okay.
You know.
Now,
It's
hold
all
on.
the color of the
I do
rainbow
have a
with
good
these
video,
people.
though. I'd like
Yeah.
to show you this one.
Okay.
CNN anchor led off of a segment about a crackdown on dildos. I feel like, can we show that one?
The WNBA is cracking down on dildos being thrown onto the court during games. The sex toys have shown up 6 different times from Atlanta to LA, posing a risk to players.
It's ridiculous. It's dumb. It's corny. It's stupid. It's also dangerous. And, player safety is number one. Respecting the game, all those things. I think it's really stupid.
So what is this? Who's responsible for starting this trend? Apparently a crypto meme group, which calls them pranks. But those pranks have so far resulted in 2 arrests, and it raises the debate. Is it a sexist stunt? Is it some sort of rite of passage that every league experiences something like this? What is going on? What is...
I'd watch a lot of NBA games in my day. I don't remember a dildo being thrown. I don't know what she's talking about. Right? Is it a rite of passage? What? All right, but dildo aside.
The NYPD is on a manhunt
Oh.
for a WNBA dildo throwing suspect in a Beavis and Butthead shirt. Can't make this up. I thought you'd enjoy that.
Wow.
Come on now.
But I love how the players have to. Someone's going to get hurt. Like the dildo is going to take them out.
Oh my God. Okay, other than me,
yes.
somebody else has been branded a racist.
Oh, who? Do I know them?
You certainly do. It's rarefied air.
Yes.
One guess, it's a girl.
It's a girl that I know that was called.
Oh, well, you would know of her for sure.
I know of her, but I don't know.
You definitely,
you have to give me more than she's a girl. Give me
really pretty girl.
A very pretty girl that I made. How about Riley Gaines?
Sydney.
Sydney. Well, she was.
Sydney
Yeah.
Sweet.
Well, they were saying she was a racist before.
She's a racist?
Because she has boobs or something.
Well,
right?
no. It was her jeans ad. Her American Eagles jeans ad. Oh, you saw this ad?
Yeah.
What?
Okay,
you know this whole thing?
Maybe they double. Yeah, well, they did the
she
ad.
She wore the jeans. I've got good jeans.
I've got
she's
good
a
jeans.
racist. He knows this one.
That was July.
Set me up, Phoenix.
Someone's getting fired.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
You didn't see the apology.
Oh, there's an apology. Who apologized?
They didn't apologize.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and they did. Oh, good. They shouldn't have apologized.
No, I was like, somebody
good.
apologized?
Yeah. All right.
Nobody
Great.
apologized. Okay.
Yeah.
Trump applauded American Eagle and Sydney Sweeney, who's a registered Republican, and then he bashed Bud Light and Jaguar. Okay, here's his post right here.
Yeah, good.
She's got the hottest ad out there. Woke ad disaster. Look at woke singer Taylor Swift. I don't really know.
That's interesting that he went after Bud Light still, because they've really put a lot of money into UFC and other stuff to try to make up for what they've done. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
But okay, all right.
Okay. Well, then in response to all of this, just quick sidebar: Taylor Swift is engaged to Travis Kelce. Yeah, that happened.
Oh, is that new? I mean, they've been dating forever.
I don't know. And if you wonder, they're engaged. Okay, this was the thing. Are you ready? Cracker Barrel rebranded the logo and lost like $100 gazillion trillion bazillion dollars.
I'm trying. The logo was like a barrel, right?
Like
it used to be just a barrel.
Yeah. With a white guy named Uncle Herschel. I couldn't quite figure this out. I wasn't sure if Uncle Herschel was like a slave owner, and that's why they did this. In fact, there is no reference to slavery here whatsoever. And the Cracker Barrel is because people would eat soda crackers around a porch that were packed in a barrel. And Uncle Herschel is just, I guess, a fictional character. But because it's nostalgic of the South with the guy on a porch, so they rebranded the whole thing, and then everybody was pissed, and it tanked. And So go woke, go broke.
Wow.
Cracker Barrel CEO Julie Fells Messina's decision to decolonize the company.
Okay. Don't read the rest of that. The one thing I can say is around 1996, I went to SUNY Binghamton, and I stopped somewhere near Poughkeepsie, if I'm not mistaken, at a Cracker Barrel, and I had the most delicious, fully loaded baked potato I'd ever had in my life. They put salt and pepper on the outside of the potato, which I now do, and it's delicious.
So yeah, that was a mess. That was like a Bud Light kind of a mess. But like you get these like white women that just keep tanking these companies. Like remember
right? They'd never step foot into Cracker Barrel, but they get off destroying.
They get these like Ivy League educated white liberals, and they just tank these companies one after another. Like a Victoria's Secret.
Right. They need a dildo. That's the truth.
I disagree with you.
Like get a dildo, lady. Stop trying to take out Cracker Barrel.
Okay. Some interesting. I wonder what you'll think about this one. After many years, Howard Stern is canceled. His contract is not going to be renewed.
Wow. Wow. That actually strikes me as the biggest news of the entire month in some weird way. Wow.
Isn't that weird? I'm not surprised. Are you really?
Well, I mean, his,
because he hates Trump and all the anti-Trump stuff.
Watching his descent into like woke madness and COVID stuff has been really disappointing. I'm from New York. Like I used to listen to him on 92.3, and I so remember him going to satellite, and it was all about freedom. And I read Private Parts, and the movie's spectacular, and fighting the system in WNBC, and the entire thing. Like his story is so great, and he was fighting the power the entire time, and then he became like such an avatar for the power, and I had a show on Sirius XM, and I always wanted to meet him so desperately, and I used to have dreams all the time that I was on his show. That was like the one thing when my first book came out that I requested from my press people was to get on Howard Stern. It didn't happen. That was the only thing that I asked for. But then watching his, all that stuff has been disappointing. I guess at some point you just can't pay him anymore, right? The guy's been making satellite radio. It doesn't really make sense. I don't know if you've heard of the internet.
I think that's part of it. I think it's also a lot of the supposedly the Trump derangement stuff has turned off a lot of his audience.
Yeah, I mean, his audience was edgy.
Him?
Oh, I loved him.
I never liked him. And you know what I remember about him?
You didn't like the crassness? I like the fighting the power thing. I loved fighting the executives and making fun of them all the time. And
you know what used to bother me?
It was like Letterman, sort of.
Here's the irony, by the way. Some of the crazier stuff that Trump said about teenage Miss America and walking into these rooms. I think he said that on Howard Stern's
And Howard
show.
didn't release the audio of it. Do you remember that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. And with that said, though, if you go back to super early Howard Stern, do you remember a New Year's special where he would have women?
He did insane things. I mean, he'd be in blackface auctioning people off. And
I hated that.
Yeah.
I hated it. I remember, and it's like he'd take these girls who were super vulnerable and humiliate them for a boob job. I never liked him.
Well, putting aside whether you like him or not, whether that doesn't even, in some sense, it's like, the bigger story is that this guy who's been an icon.
You're right. I'm just saying I didn't like him. I'm not sorry.
Yeah, no. Trust me, I haven't listened to him in 20 years.
He turned into some sort of a hero. But I never forgot that stuff. I was really young, I remember, and thinking this is so gross.
I remember he did some blackface thing with Sherman Helmsley.
He's
George
no
Jefferson.
angel, this guy.
Yeah.
Anyway.
He'll be okay.
Okay, Charlie Kirk has been featured on South Park.
I think that happened.
You caught that?
I think a clip leaked of that the day I left, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what makes you think you have the right to say what I do with my body?
Let me ask you something. If a pregnant woman is killed and the baby dies too.
The day I left.
All right, this video. Okay, Greg Gutfeld went on Jimmy Fallon.
Oh, so I think this must happen right at the beginning of the month, right? Because I think I had heard
August 7th.
Okay, so I think I heard it was going to happen, maybe something like that.
Yeah, I watched it.
How'd it go? Do we got anything or just
nothing? It was
nothing?
awkward. I'll be honest. I thought it was awkward. Greg was super sweet, and he tells this really long story about how he'd met Jimmy Fallon before, and Jimmy was super drunk and crushed a cigarette, then bought him a new cigarette, and then they went to another. I don't know. It was awkward, and Fallon had no memory of any of it. And Fallon's like, It was very bizarre.
Fallon's not like a person; he's just an entertainer. Where Greg's being a human. Yeah, interesting.
There was kind of a sweet moment in there where I guess Gutfeld says he goes to light a smoke, and Fallon's wasted and crumbles up his cigarette, which is something I would do. And is these will kill you. And Gutfeld's I'm poor and you just crushed my cigarette. And I guess Fallon bought him a pack of cigarettes.
Right, all right.
Gutfeld's you're trying to kill me. Here's what I did like about that.
We're really at the end here.
I know,
what a weird month. I mean, yeah.
What I loved about that is I think the right and the left need to talk more.
Mm-hmm.
So I loved that, actually. Because
the
left doesn't engage.
Well, it's sort of like you going on CNN. We need some arbitrage. As crazy as it is, at some level, you need an arbitrage between old and new media, and Gutfeld balances old and new really well. And then,
but that was amicable. It was definitely an attempt to build good communication and bridge ideologies, and CNN was not quite that. August 9th, Disney, Lucasfilms, is set to settle the Gina Carano lawsuit, and they signaled a desire to work with her again. She was fired from The Mandalorian over posts comparing being a Republican to in the U.S. to being Jewish during the Holocaust. We've got to stop making these Holocaust comparisons, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I thought you said something about Disney and something. I thought you were going to say something about they sold Star Wars, which would be amazing, but okay, fine, move on. Well, who cares?
No, if I could just throw out, maybe just don't bring up the Holocaust. That would be a mistake. Yeah. Okay, August 12th, the UFC signs a $7.7 billion deal with Paramount to add UFC events to Paramount Plus streaming services in 2026, eliminating the pay-per-view model. Yeah.
Interesting.
Cool.
Dana's built that thing into just an absolute juggernaut. It's not really my thing, but I think it's incredible what he's done.
See, I love it. But, I grew up in it. Okay, moving swiftly onward. More of the same here. No dildos, but 32 NFL teams will be stenciling a social justice message in their
What? It's coming back. Are you kidding me?
No.
That's
Stop hate and choose love, Dave.
I mean, I'm shocked.
Takes all of us.
God, for anyone that thought woke was dead, I mean, it's just recalibrating in front of our eyes.
No one's listening.
That's utterly shocking to me. That's the most shocking thing
from dead. It's like morphing into something new and
Yes,
improved.
if they etch it into the end zone, that'll help them.
Okay,
Yeah,
we've got a couple of male cheerleaders. Louis Kahn.
Oh, wait, that's a male?
Yeah. I mean, he's a good dancer.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah. Okay.
I can't move like that. Who am I to judge?
Exactly my point. Yeah.
I'm working with the trainer on opening my hips. That's a big thing. We're working on hips right now, just for the future of my
honestly,
basketball
with that
abilities.
one,
Yeah,
it
whatever.
wasn't such
Let
a
him.
weird woke society.
Right.
I would think it was cute.
No,
I'd be
exactly.
Like, That's cute.
Exactly. You're exactly right.
Okay. MSNBC is now rebranded as MS Now. And people don't love it because they think it means multiple Soroses now. There's a 31-second video of Joe Scarborough announcing this. Do you want to see it?
We have breaking news as it pertains to our network. This morning, a new name for the network by the end of the year. We will become MS Now, which stands for my source for news, opinion, and the world. And look, Andrew, they even have a graphic up. I like
There
it.
it is. This is what you call lipstick on a pig.
As we get versant, we're going into...
Yeah, this is their departure from NBC and legacy media.
Whatever. It's nothing. It's
Yeah, I
nothing.
love this.
Good luck.
This one I really liked, actually. Chris
It's still
Pratt.
television for morons. That's the thing. Yeah. All right. Chris Pratt. Okay,
Chris
he's good.
Pratt
he's
went
good.
on Club Random, and
good.
I loved this. Take
Yeah.
a look.
In politics, you inherit enemies, and when you jump on the bandwagon with who is the most divisive president ever, it makes sense that you're going to be made to look terrible, and so I don't know what to believe because it's not like I sit with Bobby and I go, so hey, let's talk about this. Let's talk about. It's like we're just playing cards or playing Mafia or having fun or having dinner. I'm not going to pick his brain to find out exactly which of those things are true. I just kind of assume that none of them are, and for the most part, I wish him well, man. I hope there's certain things that he oversees that seem to be supported in a bipartisan way, like getting terrible toxic stuff out of our kids' food. I think that's a great thing. And so, if you do that, that's amazing. I'd hate to be so mired in hatred for the president that any success from his administration is something I'd have an allergic reaction to. To be like, oh, well, if they do it, I don't want it to happen. I'll put Clorox in my children's cereal myself. It's like, come on, be reasonable here. There's certain things that would be a good thing to have. I want them all to be successful.
I guess this
Just more
whatever.
the same crazy.
Yeah, but just like general crazy stuff.
Yeah.
I would say it's basically what I kicked off. First off, thank you for this. This was wonderful.
God,
I think you
are you
actually
kidding?
did the most kind of robust sort of blend of funny and also ridiculous and serious.
Oh
and
my
all
God,
that, so.
we had to power through though. There was very little room for humor. I want to be clear.
No, you did.
I'm not a stand-up comedian, Dave. I do lunges for a living.
You did a bang-up job, and the abs, although they are hidden by the blouse, I'm sure are still tight and good.
Yeah.
We have a lot of stuff coming. I don't want to tease too much. Are they telling me to tease something?
I got the
we
question.
Have some big
I was
things.
given those
There's
questions.
some major stuff happening with the tequila, which it'll be for sale again next week finally, and we've dealt with some of the logistical issues around that. So Copala, we're going to be really big on that for the next year. We have a couple ideas that we're going to change. We changed a few things with the set. We have new chairs here, which are quite comfortable, by the way, and a nice new table and a lot of paper on the floor. We're expanding a couple things. We're working on a network situation that I've been talking about for quite quite some time, and some others. There's a lot of good things happening, and I'm glad to. I didn't know how. The last thing that happened in this room at the end of July was I taped one last thing, and I was sitting here with Connor and Joseph, and we finished, and then we all just sat here quietly for like 30 seconds, and I said, I don't know how I feel right now, and Joseph goes, it feels weird. And that kind of caught it for me, because it wasn't like I was like relieved, like I hate my job and now I'm so happy to escape. It wasn't that. It was like I was saying goodbye to my friends for a month, and like I was going to enjoy myself, but I enjoy myself when I'm here. And so this morning when I was coming back, I was like, how do I feel? And I was like, it feels weird. Because it's not that I wasn't happy to come back, but I also really enjoyed being off. And anyway, I'm going to take all of that and all of the lessons I learned for a month and all the stuff that you gave me right here, and try to be better at what I do and see if
the
the
bar
country
is high, my friend, and it has been an absolute pleasure doing this with you. That was dense. I apologize, but it's Phoenix's fault. Yeah. So.
If we were a professional operation, someone would throw a dildo and we'd end this thing. But instead, I'm just going to high five you, sister.
Right.
Thank you, Jillian.
Can we
Back
make it
tomorrow,
pink?
everybody.
I want a pink one.